cancel culture is about canceling.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
Systematic bullying that's happening.
And they believe that
Cocaína.
Had a gun, but it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in a cell cause my records ain't sell. Cause a brother like me said, well,
it's one like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that puts against the bed, this that I got realness, I just push, cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
We'll see who cancels who.
they want you to comply.
Hi, friend.
Hey, how's it going?
This is how the Leftist Mafia starts now.
This is how it starts now. I figured, we might as well be a little bit more on time, and people will just trickle in. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was just watching the NDP debate through you and
Oh,
David
you were
Doel.
watching it too? No way.
I was, yeah. It's nice to see reasonable people debate policies in reality. So I was very impressed. So I've got to say, good job.
That's what both my chats were saying the whole time, because I was watching it too on my stream, and like all these Americans were just like, wait, y'all just have reasonable discussions about policy? There's no name calling, no chairs thrown, there's no one's threatened anyone else yet. Like, what's going on?
It's very weird to see that. It's almost jarring, dare I say. Now, for those wondering, Matt will drop in soon, I'm sure. David Doel is actually streaming on his channel, so if you want to, we can resume the debate that Lance was watching for a little bit and spy on David Doel.
Oh, let's spy on David Doel.
Look at that. Okay, let me turn on the audio. He has no idea. He has no idea.
Energy industry. It doesn't have to be this misinformation of, well, I'm not going to make as much or they're not going to be as many jobs. That's just not true. So we need to get the education out there that demonstrates.
That's a good point. There needs to be more education about.
Need to bring forward this renewable.
The biggest point that these pro-oil people always make about jobs.
Shut up, David.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about.
And it needs to be.
We
have to have free education.
Mr. Ashton, let me bring you in on this debate. You talk about protecting workers, and I want to talk about the Indigenous part of it too. When energy jobs are tied to Indigenous-owned projects, does opposing development risk putting New Democrats at odds with both labor and reconciliation?
So look, to win this war, to this climate war, we need workers, Indigenous, non-Indigenous workers. But we have people on the stage right now.
I interviewed this guy.
That are going to stand against plans.
Did you really?
Like the BC transmission.
Everyone calls him Socialist Santa.
Or plans to build.
Oh, I love that.
The Port of Churchill. We're sending more workers to the Conservative Party like that. And so when we say we need to shut down industries, those jobs already being there, we just send more workers to the Conservatives. Climate action needs to be centered on workers and Indigenous people, and that includes Indigenous projects. We have to have an open mind here. We have to be able to bring new projects along.
I agree with you, Cole. I feel like Rob Ashton kind of fell off since
to bring Indigenous communities along with that, and
bring
the rest of the communities across this country along with that as well.
Well, I think that
Like he seemed promising initially, but I don't think
you're calling out the side shot there. Rob, that was very restrained for you. I appreciate that.
We're in the debate portion, so
listen,
go ahead.
We're a big country.
Yeah, he seems
we're
great as well.
an affiliated party, and we're allowed to have differences with our provincial sections. I've had warm conversations with my premier David Eby's office, with my friend Wab Canoe, with Nahid
The fact that the moderator
and we are allowed to have
acknowledged the
differences on
existence of
specific
Indigenous
issues because
people
we
is
support
really
each other as
impressive
New
to me as
Democrats.
well.
When I spoke to
One of the
Nahid,
candidates is Indigenous.
I told him that I love
Yeah.
the way that he stood up against Daniel Smith's disgusting
Yeah, it's Neil
notwithstanding
Johnson.
clause. Attacks on teachers,
I
attacks on
think
trans kids. Nahid needs to be the next premier of
I don't know how
Alberta.
the podiums
And
are set
we have
up,
some
but
profound
I'll tell you when she
differences
comes
around
on.
fossil fuels.
Okay.
And he was
Yeah.
asking us
How do you work that out?
She's actually been probably the best in this debate so far in terms of just like getting really good quotes. Like she was the one that when it was like, what would you do if Donald Trump like tries to negotiate and take over Canada? And she's like, if Donald Trump calls, he's getting my answering machine. I was like, "Yes, good answer."
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing our opponents' work for each other. We can stand together as New Democrats and have democratic disagreements around crucial issues of public policy.
I know we're out of time, but I'm going to give you 20 seconds, Heather.
Yeah, listen.
Good answer.
I agree with what Tony said in terms of
She's
this is an opportunity for us.
This is
a
Heather
huge
McPherson.
opportunity.
She's from
But we
Alberta,
cannot be
and
picking
she's
fights
weak
with our
on
provincial
climate,
parties,
weak
and
on
I have seen that
oil
happen
and
in the
gas.
past. You know, we have
But she's
people who have
been very
picked
good
those
on
fights.
Palestine, and she's actually the only person on the panel who got like a warning from Parliament for wearing a watermelon pin because you're apparently not allowed to do that. So even though there are, members of Parliament who wear like IDF dog tags and stuff like that, that say like bring them home, that's all allowed. But she got a warning for a watermelon pin.
Moving to the next section.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
For watching me watch
Yeah.
the debate. Hello, Mike. Hello, Lance.
Oh no, he got us.
He caught us. We're busted.
Each of you will have 1 minute to answer. So we're giving you 15 minutes. To answer that question, it has to be answered in French. If you don't answer in French, we're going to cut you off. However, in the debate portion, you can choose to answer in either French or English. So let's play the video.
Bonjour, mon nom est Malcolm Lewis Richmond. Je suis impliqué au NDP.
No, I was going to translate, but someone else is doing it for me.
L'année passée, je suis candidat dans Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, Wexner. Je suis aussi membre du conseil d'administration de la section Québec.
They gotta lower the French voice if they're going to do the voiceover.
Et je me rappelle toujours en 2011 quand le NPD
Yeah,
a gagné le
my
plus grand
ADHD, I
nombre
can't understand
de
this.
Yeah.
sièges.
No, same. It's just all jumbled to me.
Nous avons presque été rayés de la carte au Québec. Alors,
since
la
then, we've
question pour
almost
vous,
been
quelles sont vos
erased
idées
from the map
pour
in Quebec.
renverser
So my
notre
question for
déclin
you
dans la
is,
belle
what are
province?
the ideas to reverse our decline in the...
Thank you so much for that question from the NDP in Quebec.
If anybody understood.
Pour cette question du NPD au Québec, avez-vous 5 minutes?
À se connecter avec la vie quotidienne québécoise. On doit recommencer à nouveau.
Okay, so I can fill in on this part for everyone who doesn't know who's watching from America right now. Canada is technically a bilingual country, and why is that important for politicians? Well, because in Canada for elections, you need to win the most seats to form a majority government, and there is a fuck ton of seats in Quebec, the province. They have a lot of seats, so you are not going to be able to do well as a politician and win federal election if you are not very, very bilingual and you can demonstrate to Quebecois that people that you have their interests at heart. And so every major, a lot of the big liberal leaders, and then the ones like Justin Trudeau, etc., you'll notice they're also either French or very fluent in French, right? Like Jean Chrétien, etc. And that appeals to the Quebecois voters and helps them, win the federal elections.
How many people in Canada actually speak French? Do you know?
If the other parties are
way less than you think.
Oh, okay.
It's taught to you in high school, but it's not a thing where you need to be fluent to operate in society. There's no requirements. I only know it because I took French immersion, which is a free public school system in Canada you can take. That's really cool. You grow up doing basically bilingual schooling for free.
Wow.
That's what I grew up with. That's why I speak fluent French today. It's handy because I can use it with some of my relatives and my grandma and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Totally free.
Wow.
Okay, I think they were doing it.
French is the official language spoken for 22% of the population of Canada for 37 million people. Yeah, that's actually a lot higher than I thought it was.
That's really good, actually. I'm impressed.
10.7 million Canadians can carry a conversation in French.
Wow, that's a lot. That's really impressive.
But like, how do they define carry a conversation? I wonder, because
True.
like, you know, I can I can carry a conversation in a lot of languages just from being like,
right. French noises.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Americans who aren't even fluent in English. Like they speak English, but you can't understand them. So it's so impressive to see a country with such a large bilingual population by comparison.
Oh, you know what blows my mind is Scandinavian countries. When you meet people and then they're like, they speak better English than I do. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then they'll just bust into like 4 or 5 other languages. I'm like, this is
I don't
just
speak French, but I want to learn Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why we never invested in that in this country, because we desperately would benefit from, I think, French and especially Spanish.
Well, I was going to say, Spanish must be the biggest second spoken language in the US, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And I think that it really helps you if you know how to speak Spanish in certain communities, get jobs and whatnot. Like I worked in a Spanish-speaking community. It's probably like, I want to say 40%. And we were always looking for people. This was like a Blockbuster when I was in retail. Like we needed like Spanish speakers because it was really, really helpful.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
To win over the confidence of Quebecers in Canada.
I love this guy. He looks like a hippie.
Yeah, so he's pretty darling in that it's basically he's a farmer and he just cares a lot about the environment and he's kind of like, you know, soil of the earth kind of a guy.
Okay.
He, also, when asked about trade, he had a great answer where he was like, "You shouldn't back in World War II, we wouldn't ship steel to the Nazis, so we shouldn't do it to the Americans."
I love that.
Yeah,
kind of follow some of it.
He's coming in hot. I love that. I respect the straw hat too. Hey, Bender.
Hello. Who is that guy?
We're watching the Canadian federal NDP leadership debates, but we're actually just doing a spy on David Doel, who's not part of the Leftist Mafia, and we're watching his stream so we can.
I just realized that he's not there with us. He's just on the screen.
Yeah.
We're stealing David Doel's stream from him.
Yeah, we're hijacking his stream.
What if he issues us a copyright takedown?
He can't. That's absolutely within his right.
You DMCA. Strike us soon.
I don't know if this is within fair use.
It'd be pretty funny if he came on here and said, like, actually came on this stream after and said, "I did not give you permission."
You owe me all your ad revenue.
He did catch us, though. To be fair,
he might be the first. If he did that, he might make history and be the first person to do a copyright takedown on a stream that he actually originally appeared on, like to create original content for when he came on to say that we can't use it.
Yeah, he would like technically own like what 16% or whatever it breaks down to each of the 6 of us.
She's just like calling everybody out.
That would be funny. Okay,
what is this for? Who's gonna be the leader of the party?
It's the final NDP debate.
Yeah, so the basically the Socially Democratic Party of Canada, the one that Jagmeet Singh, you probably remember, was the leader of in the last cycle. That party doesn't have a leader right now, so this is the leadership debate, the final one for who will be the leader of the NDP, aka who's going to be the leader of the left of Canada. So this is going to be the next leftist face of Canadian politics for the next little while, basically.
It was Susan that narked on us. Susan tattled to David. How dare you, Susan? By the way, just in case anybody doesn't know, this guy who's speaking right now, Avi Lewis, that's actually Naomi Klein's husband.
Yep.
Which is very cool.
I've met him in person a handful of times. I've campaigned with him. I think I have my Avi Lewis button behind me as sort of the props. He's a really, really awesome dude.
He's doing pretty well right now, I think.
He seems like it.
Yeah. He's got a lot of media training, which is why he comes across at times a little bit more charismatic or a little bit more like a seasoned politician. The person speaking right now is Tenille Johnson. She's the only Indigenous candidate.
Okay. I'll turn it back up because they're speaking English again.
They were not speaking English before? French,
French,
I'm assuming, right? Yeah.
Component of your culture, and I think understanding that and reaching out to Quebec and offering that relational history of retaining language is huge. I think what Quebec has been able to do with holding on to their Francophone community and their language is absolutely amazing. And it's
Binder, what everyone has to do in Canadian politics is kind of kiss the ring to Quebec and the French in Canada. You have to do it because they have so many seats in Parliament. So you're never going to win a federal election if you say fuck the French. That's just basically your DOA. So you'll notice all the candidates both try to learn French best they can and brush up on it before running, and then they will say a lot of things like, I deeply respect the French culture, the French people. I think they should have autonomy over their culture in the same way you would over like Indigenous folk, because it's necessary.
So it wouldn't be smart of me if I'm running for this position to open up with going, ha 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 ha.
Pas du tout. Until I'll become fluent en français.
Wow, that's the first time I've heard David Doel talk on his stream that we're watching.
Well, now he can copyright strike us. Now he owns the content.
Okay, should I pull it down? I don't want to steal too much of his stream. I do feel bad.
I don't think we have to worry about it. There's no one who's watching it seriously.
He doesn't own the rights to the NDP leadership debate. He can't sue you for this.
I know. I just want people to be able to enjoy his stream. I don't want to like crash it too
Speaks
hard.
the sound of the wind.
I just thought it'd be fun to spy on him for a little bit.
I'll be honest. This is like incredibly like for me a little bit too Canadian politics insidery for me to care about too much.
You goddamn Americans. I have to learn the names of comptrollers in the US when there's a fucking scandal.
I get it.
Comptrollers.
I mean, listen, like I get that you have to pay attention to US politics because the US is what it is. But you definitely you do the comptroller thing because face facts, unfortunately, on the internet, like US based content, it gets more views than like Canadian based content. Am I right?
Not just views, just like not only is the US basically like the world police, everyone's got to talk about it. US content does well in other markets. US content does well in Australia. It does well in Britain. It does, like, because everyone talks about the US.
That's what it comes down to.
Everyone's terrified of what the US is going to do next. Is basically
no,
what
but like
I'm
I'm talking about like how into like everyone obviously in the world needs to pay attention to what the US does on like a national stage, but like you could avoid the comptroller stuff, but as a streamer you can't.
You could avoid the comptroller. I think I like that joke. What I'm referencing is that like I'll talk about a lot of Canadian politicians in part because they're probably involved in scandals. Like if I was to ask Americans, what's the name of the crack smoking mayor of Toronto, you might know because he smoked crack. Not because of this, just because of what he did with the state. Yeah, exactly, right? Like that's why.
Oh no, I knew him because he's such a upstanding. He was such an upstanding, amazing mayor of Toronto. I mean, that's
right. And today we're probably going to talk about the royal family a little bit, I'm guessing, and maybe Andrew, right? But we normally wouldn't, but we're going to be talking about that specifically because of the Epstein files, the fact that he got arrested. That's pretty huge news, right? So we'll talk about that. But yeah, there's that deal with the devil that every Canadian content maker makes where they travel to the US and then they suddenly pretend they're Americans all of a sudden, you know, like your Crowders and your Lauren Chens and your Lauren Southerns and your Jordan Petersons and your Gavin McInnes's, you know, like
don't forget Tom McDonald.
Tom McDonald, there you have it, right?
Talented musician.
Yeah, and then they all suddenly pretend like they're Americans out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to get so many Canadians who come here and larp as Americans, it's only fair that there's some sort of refugee program for us Americans that are normal.
I agree. Influencers, right? I think we should trade, right? Like we should be able to so Jordan Peterson moves up and down. So when he's in the US, someone else has to flip and then has to like the equilibrium has to be rebalanced.
When I was looking at the news stories from today, just seeing how South Korea sentenced their insurrectionist president to life in prison and how the UK arrested Prince Andrew. Yeah, I'm like, man, it would be really nice if like before I was born, my parents just like drove a few hours across the Canadian border, dumped me with any Canadian family. My life would be so different. Okay, so I do have some clips queued up about the Donald Trump reaction to the Prince Andrew arrest. I thought that the Prince Andrew arrest was really, really interesting just because of all the responses from Americans who were like, hey, why can't we do that here? But Trump's reaction, I believe he said this when he was on Air Force One, was pretty predictable, but also very, very sussy. So I'll go ahead and play it for you. Hopefully the audio is good. I haven't listened to this clip yet.
I got a question about something big overseas today. The former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, you know, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. So I can
Yeah.
actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing. To see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds totally not guilty. I love mentioning how many times I'm totally exonerated, not guilty at all, when discussing how not guilty I am.
Something somebody very innocent would say, not sus at all. It's very interesting. And let me remind everybody that when he was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, I think this was in 2020, he said, I don't know her, I wish her well. He said he wished her well twice, which is crazy because we learned recently that he said that she was a monster or something like that. But in 2020, he's wishing her well, which tells me that he knows that she knows where the bodies are buried, like metaphorically speaking. And it's just weird that if you were so innocent, why would you wish this monster well? Like, I personally do not wish any pedophile well. I wish them the worst. So that's a very suspicious response from him.
Well,
And
their
this is
position,
weird
their
too.
position is that she was framed or she was a victim as well, right? Like that's their position. That's why they're giving her that sweetheart deal where she's in a very low security or like one of those like nice fancy prisons.
Yeah,
and there's a
the fall
potential that.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
To your point, Binder, that they're saying that she's the fall gal, I think is kind of the play, right?
And I mean, it's very clear she was not. I mean, it's very clear she was in on it with Epstein.
Yeah, no, she was an active participant. No, she's a monstrous human as well.
Yeah, she was his right hand man, and not only that, she seemed like she was getting involved with some of it for her own purposes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her own crimes. I just don't get how he's saying totally exonerated when he's now more guilty than ever. Like,
well,
it's not like things got better for you.
he knows that a lot of people, especially his followers, I mean, yes, the hardcore Epstein heads, a lot of them are hardcore Epstein heads. I'm making it sound like
No,
it's a
when you said
band.
that, I'm like, oh.
The hardcore Epstein file followers, a lot
Epstein
of them
files.
Yeah. A lot of them do have right-wing or conspiratorial tendencies, no doubt about it. But the vast majority of MAGA, he knows they're not sifting through these documents. Please. They're going to understand the Epstein files through what they hear from their media. And their media, the right-wing media, covers what Trump says. And what Trump is saying is that he's been totally exonerated, which means right-wing media is going to say Trump says he's totally exonerated, which means when they read it or hear see that clip of Donald Trump saying it, they're going to say, oh, he's totally exonerated.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it crazy, though, that he's saying, oh, this is sad and whatnot. It's sad. And I like, to me, that's wild because it seems like he's inadvertently admitting that he really empathizes with the people who are accused of these crimes. Remember a couple of weeks ago, he said about Bill Clinton that, like, yeah, he just gets me. Like, he was saying nice things about Bill Clinton as well. That's very weird. Wouldn't he, if you're innocent, wouldn't you think automatically, oh, that's good, maybe there's justice for the victims? Of course not. His head goes to, oh, this is sad that this pedophile is getting his comeuppance. That to me is a little bit weird. And I just feel like you can't watch that and not think that this is the behavior of somebody who's guilty unless you're completely like a cultist. It's just, he is so fucking guilty. I'm not sure if you guys saw as well, Roger Sollenberger, he's a journalist. He published a bunch of really alarming things that the DOJ is doing. They deleted the interviews that the FBI apparently had with a victim who told the FBI on, this was 4 different interviews, that Trump had raped her when she was around the age of like 15 or 13 to 15. So she was a kid basically. And they deleted all the files regarding what she said, and they deleted the interviews. We never saw those, but they just got rid of them like that. So they're literally trying to cover up Donald Trump's pedophilia. And now he's saying, yeah, you know, it's I've been totally exonerated over and over again. Who is this convincing?
I know the answer to this, but what's their excuse for why they did that?
As far as I know, they haven't responded yet to what Sollenberger has found.
Wow. That seems really bad.
Yeah, it's not just that like they're covering up crimes. Like what they're doing is hiding evidence. Like they're becoming co-conspirators themselves. I think that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, they also need to be investigated now. It's like we've got the fucking fox guarding the hen house. Like it's really crazy to me. Progressive Voice. How's it going, Progressive Voice? So I have another clip on a different subject. We'll come back to Epstein in a second because I have a bunch of clips from the Les Wexner testimony, or it was a deposition. So the whole thing was released. It's like 4 hours and 55 minutes. We're not going to watch all of that, but there's some highlights that I found on Twitter. But I just wanted to play this because Trump was asked about Obama saying that Epstein on the brain, that aliens exist. He said this on the Brian Tyler Cohen show, and he later clarified and said, well, it's just, you know, the universe is big and aliens must exist. So he wasn't like confirming that like they're talking to reptilians or anything. That's kind of what I suspected. But
okay, that's what I thought when I saw the clip. But I'm like, the internet's losing its mind over that one little clip. And I was like, yeah. It sounds like anyone else is just like, oh yeah, aliens are probably real. But because it's Barack Obama, everyone's like, oh my God, he said the aliens are real. Where are they?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening?
And I will say, to be fair to everybody who was freaking out, Brian Tyler Cohen probably should have asked a follow-up and said, well, when you say aliens are real, you know, you haven't seen them. Do you have evidence that they exist? Or are you just saying that, you know, the universe is so vast that there has to be aliens that exist? And it is the latter, but yeah, no evidence that there's aliens. But Donald Trump weighs in here and says that Obama may have leaked classified information.
Oh my God.
Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to. So if you want to make an announcement,
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Binder, this goes back to our original discussion. I was like, this isn't happening right now in Canada. There's not like one person just flippantly says something that everyone else has said in casual conversations, like, oh yeah, aliens are probably real. I don't know. I haven't given it much thought. And then there's an entire news cycle about like, the president of the United States said aliens are real. Another president confirms the aliens are real on Air Force One. Like,
I mean,
there's been zero confirmation of real aliens.
You're right. The question that he was asked was from that Brian Tyler Cohen interview, right?
Yes.
And I mean, I know that the clip went viral, but my read of that wasn't that like Obama was confirming aliens exist. He was just sharing his opinion that aliens likely exist. I mean, I think anyone.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that was my read too.
Right. I mean, anyone. I would say any intelligent person at this point what we know about the vastness of outer space. And there's got to be other living things out there, you know? So that's how I read that.
The truth is out there.
Yes.
Do I think the U.S. government probably knows more than they let on? That's a possibility. Do I think that's what Obama was sharing? No. Do I think that now that Trump said what he said? Yes. Like, Trump's the one who gave up classified information by saying Obama shouldn't have given up classified information.
I will say, give me a second here. So there has been, I'm not sure if anybody follows this stuff. I kind of follow the alien stuff a little bit. And there was recently video evidence of aliens. I'm not sure what kind, there's theories about the Greys, the reptilians, but there is evidence that there is at least semi-intelligent life. They're bipedal. They are human-like, and I'm going to pull up the video now. Just content warning. This is going to be disturbing for some people, so I'm going to pull this in. So the first picture that I have, it's actually a video, is so this creature was found, I believe, somewhere in Florida, and
oh god!
I gotta say, like,
he's
he
able to
looks
speak
exactly like what you'd think a lizard person is supposed to look like. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like you were not wrong.
Yeah.
like even his eyes right now look like
No,
they're
they're
gonna do
haunted.
that thing lizard eyes do, where they like blink the other way. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know. I not only now believe in God, but I believe him to be cruel and disturbed.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to feel about this, because on one hand you can tell that they're trying really hard to be humans. I don't know if they're suffering. But like on the other hand, what is their intentions? Why are they on this planet? And I'm just going to play a little bit of audio. You can tell he's speaking and he's trying to emulate the behavior of a human being, but it's just obviously synthetic.
Any person who goes to the Olympics to represent the United States and then says they don't want to represent the United States should be immediately stripped of the Olympic uniform. Any person.
So you would think, if you're not really paying attention, okay, sure, this is human, but like when you really look at it, you can tell this ain't no fucking human. Like, this is very clearly an alien. Now, I have a second piece of evidence that I do want to bring in that is being discussed. I actually sounded the alarm about this a couple of weeks ago. Hang on one second. Let me share this one. So I said... I said that, so this one here, it looks like two aliens trying to play it cool and act human while still adjusting to their super uncomfortable skin suits. And I think that you're all going to understand what I was saying here when you hear these obvious aliens speak. And just look at their mannerisms. These aren't human beings. I'm sorry.
2, 1. Hi, I'm Mike Lee. I'm here with my friend Scott Pressler, the one and only. We've been talking tonight about how to move forward with the Save America Act. The Save America Act is going to make sure that our elections are protected.
And I just want to thank Senator Mike Lee for not only sponsoring the
Look at the way he's standing.
Act, which was the original of proof of citizenship,
Yeah, that's
but
weird.
now we have the Save America Act, which is proof of citizenship plus what
The skin
is
suit's not
very
fitting right.
popular across the
No,
entire United States.
they could barely move.
Photo,
Like, this one is very clearly a
ID.
smaller
And I
skin
want to
suit,
thank all
so it's
of
leading
you at
his
home
body to like
for
be hunched
calling
over to
your
fit.
senators and representatives peacefully
You can
and
see the strings.
respectfully getting them to
There's something, yeah.
co-sponsor Senator Mike Lee's legislation.
Yeah, we got just the other.
Listen,
day,
I'm
we got,
a guy who has long hair, and I've always had hair longer than most guys. So I have nothing wrong with guys who have long hair. There's people who have longer hair than mine. I get it, but I've never seen a guy with long hair and that looked this bad. Honestly, it looks so bad. Why does it look like that?
I don't know if this individual is openly homosexual or not, if that's the
He
character
is,
this
yes.
alien is playing. He is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now this is just a hunch.
Just to be clear, because Kalinske went a little too far into the dark woke arena, into the territory of that's just homophobia. That person's openly gay. It's not the same when you drop your Nick Fuentes style jokes at a man who's openly gay. Let me just say that you dark woked a little too close to the sun there.
Happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
I will say, I get boy mode vibes from this alien on the right. Do you get boy mode vibes, or am I like crazy?
What does that mean?
It means it's basically a trans woman who hasn't come out yet.
Oh, I don't know. I'm staying out of that one here. I'm stepping away.
We'll have to debate amongst ourselves in the community, but I get those vibes. It's harder to tell for me, but I don't know. It's just I look into the non-existent soul of this person, and I just get the sense that there's still a secret. I don't know what it is. But like, here, let me just mute it so you can watch their mannerisms. What we do know for sure is that they both are not human beings. Like these are aliens. Especially this dude. This is the most obvious one. He's not even trying to be human-like. It's just so weird. Oh, creepy. Okay, I'll take this off the screen. I just wanted to share that with you all. So Obama, maybe this is what he was referring to. Who knows? Thoughts?
Oh, I was like, is there another one coming up? I didn't know if
I thought you were playing another clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all I've got for you for aliens.
We're peak.
They're among us.
Do we want to play the Obama clip with for people who haven't seen it? The Brian.
Yeah, we might as well, right?
And also play the Trump no homo at the Board of Peace clip too. That one's funny.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that.
Oh, okay. Right. We watched this on the Majority Report earlier. Right. This is weird. Very weird.
It's just
doesn't seem like a relevant conversation for the Board of Peace, right? I mean,
yeah. And he's not allowed to say no homo. Just straight allies and gay people can say it, or just allies in general. He's not an ally.
You revoked the pass.
Yeah, he does.
He's in a super chat, but sometimes you see a YouTube comment that's funny enough, you got to mention it. Someone in the chat about what's that guy that we just watched before? The guy with the long hair. What's his name again?
Scott Pressler.
Scott Pressler, something like that. One Eye Dollar in my YouTube chat says he has the hair of an Afghan hound, which is spot on. It is the same exact type of pull up a picture of an Afghan hound. I know exactly what type of dog this guy's talking about. It is exactly the type of hair this guy has.
Oh my god! Stop. Oh my god, AI shit. Hang on, let me zoom in. Bro, look at that. Bro. That's the same person.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe it's not an alien. Maybe it's just a fucking dog LARPing as a human being. That's crazy. Bro, this is Scott Pressler. Oh my god.
The ones where there's not the wind blowing in their hair. Yeah, that looks much. His hair's so straight. Why would you have hair that long and straighten it that much? Like,
it's uncharacteristically straight.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like, I know people straighten their hair, but you usually have a shorter style when you want it that straight.
Right.
Because when it's that long, it just looks like you have flat. It's all flat and looks weird.
This one looks just like him.
That's how they usually look. Like those other ones where their hair is blowing in the wind. Those are like glamour shots for dogs. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I read that YouTube comment, I was specifically thinking how they look when they're just standing. I've seen these dogs in person before. That's the guy's hair.
Wow, that is spot on. Whoever said that. These dogs have beautiful hair, though.
They do, because they're a little bit more stylized than that guy's.
Do you see the resemblance, Lance?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
So
Scott Pressler's hair. Someone said he has the hair of
Scott
an
Pressler
Afghan hound.
That's funny.
Okay, I have the Obama clip ready to go. Let me. Sorry if I slur my words. I'm very tired and I'm also deprived of calories because I'm dieting. So forgive me. I feel like I'm drunk. Let me press play.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens? Are aliens real?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the fact that everyone lost their mind to that clip, I was like, I guess, like, you know, if you are a politician of any measure in the US, you just can't say things anymore because everyone's so conspiracy brained that, like, you know, it's within seconds, it's like, oh my God, he said the aliens are real. We have to find them. And I was just like, no, he didn't say that. I saw that clip and I was like, yeah, he's just having a casual conversation. We're like, oh, I don't know if they're real. You know, they're probably real, but I haven't seen them. And then I was just like, yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
yes, so aliens are real.
I remember when I was a teenager, I was watching some kind of documentary, and there was an interview with Buzz Aldrin, and he said when they went to the moon, they saw aliens, and it was like a jellyfish-like creature in space. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I mean, he's very clearly credible. Unfortunately, he is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. In fact, it's really sad. He's like super old now, and he had to move because he was living in squalor or something like that. Don't quote me. I saw the headline. I didn't read the article, but it's very sad. But I used to think that aliens were real because of him. I was young, though, to be fair. I also believed in God at the time, so, you know, just to gauge where I was at mentally.
Aliens are real. Just to be clear,
Me too.
I'm of the mind that there's just like, you know, the universe is so vast that mathematically, it statistically makes more sense. There is life in other parts of it. It's just we're so far and separated from one another that we'll never encounter each other. That's the other thing with how vast the universe is. That's like the Fermi paradox. I don't think that there's aliens in a U.S. bunker being held onto and being used for their, you know, delicious alien goo. But
I agree. No, I agree totally. I think that there statistically has to be aliens somewhere out there. Are they as intelligent as us? Probably. I think the overwhelming majority of extraterrestrial life is going to be like bacterial, unintelligent, you know, maybe evolved, but not as evolved as humans.
I want to hope though that there's at least one of these magical little, you know, marbles, these like, you know, randomly situated in space that had a civilization that got past the whole like climate change thing or blowing us up thing. Because like you get advanced, and eventually you'll discover the same laws of physics will apply throughout the universe. So they're going to find and discover all this kind of stuff. But are they going to blow themselves up like us or boil themselves like we are right now? Like it's just so frustrating because like again, all the people who are like really into sci-fi, you know, your Elon Musks and all of them are about talking about like a future in space. I'm like, everyone wants that. Like who as a little boy doesn't dream of like, you know, reaching the stars and exploring space and all that.
Yeah, I would think like that too. But then as you get older and you realize how scary space travel is, I definitely would not sign up. I would not sign up for that now.
Inhospitable. Yeah, you have to like work out for how many hours a day not to like have your muscles atrophy. Like, and that's like that's the best case scenario is you are working out for hours a day, but you.
Oh yeah, I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about like the rocket ship exploding on takeoff or something happening. Something happening while you're up there and you're stuck in space for an extra 2 years than you were supposed to, or who knows what could go wrong. It seems like a lot.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate like claustrophobia.
Yes.
Whenever I think about that, just the fact that there are people on the space station, that to me is fucking wild. The story about the 2 astronauts that everybody was blaming Biden for abandoning or whatever. I didn't give a shit about the political angle, but the story itself, to me, gave me like almost nightmares because thinking about how, I was supposed to leave, but I can't, and I'm stranded here. That's fucking some nightmare shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Nightmare fuel.
It's so inhospitable. So Elon Musk will never reach Mars. That's the good news, everybody. That is a lie. Just like he didn't want to go to the pedo island. Also,
I mean, he's already talking about a moon colony instead now. Like I think he's. I think he's giving up on. I mean, we've actually been to the moon, so I mean,
the moon's
seems
boring.
like
There's nothing there.
You know what?
But like in terms of like
going to the moon.
What's that?
Well, I'm not going to spread a conspiracy. I'm just going to say what blew my mind about going to the moon is I didn't know that Americans went to the moon multiple times after the moon landings that everyone knows about. In fact, I think it's like 7 or 8 times. And then they brought up, I don't know if it was an archaeologist or a geologist, someone who deals with like rare minerals, rocks, that kind of stuff to go up. And when they got back, they were like, what do you think about trips to the moon? He's like, there's no incentive for us to go there because we know what it takes so much energy for us to get there versus what we could mine off the moon. It doesn't make sense from a like, and then the US never went again apparently.
Right. I mean, we were just going to the moon, like just to go there. Like, and I guess they were collecting things at first, but not much to like once you got something, it's all the same apparently.
Yeah,
you know?
But to be clear, not sending humans to the moon, right? Just like sending things to collect samples there.
There was other manned trips to the moon apparently after the one you know of, after the moon landing. Yeah.
Oh.
How many men walked on the moon? Let's see. A total of 12 men have walked on the moon. Yeah.
Okay.
Apollo 11, Apollo 12, Apollo 14, Apollo 15, Apollo 16, and Apollo 17.
Yeah, I only learned that maybe like 6 years ago, and the person who was explaining it to me had worked in like the Canadian equivalent of NASA, a space exploration program, and they were like, once they'd gone up on that last trip, brought someone who actually understood all the stuff that was up there, could study it, was like, there's just not a point outside of the flex. Like you can flex, which is pretty badass that humans have done that multiple times, like so many times, but there's not like a point to doing it from a get there, excavate, grab the minerals, bring them back home, and like setting up a permanent station there. We don't have the technology to do it.
So 12 people have walked on the moon from 1969 to 1972, and no one has been to the moon since 1972.
Well, I was today years old when I learned that. That's actually mind blowing.
Yeah, none of us have seen in real time someone walk on the moon.
True.
Wow.
None of us here on this stream right now. It's funny because when you search for this on Google, one of the suggested like people also ask questions is why can't we go to the moon anymore? And it's like it's not that we can't. It's just that what we were just discussing. It doesn't make sense.
It's
Doesn't make sense.
so expensive. It's so energy intensive and costly. You have to do it as a national endeavor by the world's richest nation to be able to pull it off multiple times.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm reading about this right now. Apparently, the Apollo missions, on average, the cost per program adjusted for, inflation like today, costs $300 billion.
Oh,
that's nothing to Elon Musk. He could fund that.
Yeah, that's an AI budget. Like that's a grand Palantir right there.
If it's not in the trillions, that's not too shabby.
No, that's Palantir's last contract. Come on, that's one trip to the moon.
If you guys could go to the moon, what would you do?
He could fund with his own net worth on its own. He could fund 3 total Apollo missions all by himself. No help needed.
Wow.
What would you all do if you could go to the moon? I know what
Wouldn't
I would do.
I'd pass. I wouldn't do it.
If theoretically you could just be transported there and do one thing, what would you do? This is easy.
Oh, jump.
Do one thing on the moon? Or
Are you going to say goon? Wank?
No, desecrate the American flag that they planted, of course.
Oh.
Hey, Rebecca.
I also thought you were going to be like, goon on the moon.
I know, because he was building up to it. So it's like, as
Rebecca,
always,
we're talking about
to
what
join
we
the
would
show.
do if we were able to go to the moon. What would you do?
Yes.
If I was able to go to the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were able to go to the moon, I don't know. I would look for I don't know. That's not a question to ask black folks. I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. Maybe I would look to see if I was able to go to the moon. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be by myself. It would probably be, but I would look for like where to reside first. Like, where's the safest place to be first? How about that? Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
They thought that I would say gooning first. Although once you guys put gooning in my head, I will revise my answer.
You were building up to it so much.
To be fair to both of
what
you,
would you do if you were on the moon? You were teleported there. I was like, jump? I don't know. Like,
I mean, jumping, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 3 things. Okay, and I'll rank
I
it.
don't know why, but all of a sudden, because of this discussion, like the way you phrased the question at first, Mike, there's this Sesame Street song that I would listen to with my firstborn when he was the Sesame Street age, called "I Don't Want to Live on the Moon," and it is the saddest kid song imaginable.
Really?
And you made me think of it, so I got really like I got nostalgic for a second. All right, go ahead. What would you do on the moon?
Welcome. So there's 3 things. First and foremost, I would desecrate the American flag after finding it. Second of all, I would do a bunch of flips because, gravity's lower, you could jump higher. And then third, once you guys brought up gooning, I thought about how there's no atmosphere on the moon, so I would probably mushroom stamp the rocks, and it would stay there forever. Like, you could always look up at the moon and be like, that's my balls up there.
oh man, that's funny.
So, yeah, that's what I would do. I'd get it all done in like 5 minutes and come back, so pretty easy. Very quick. I'm glad Rebecca didn't have to hear that.
No, I heard a little bit of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it when you were gone. Okay. So Les Wexner. So I'm not sure how much of the deposition you all watched, but Les Wexner, who was implicated in the Epstein files, his nearly 5-hour deposition was released, and there's some highlights. One clip in particular that I found really crazy was his lawyer whispered something into his ear. I won't spoil it for you, but it was very crazy. Hopefully this is the clip. So it's like a hot mic moment. Let me turn the volume all the way. Okay.
Answer the question. Okay. It was
Okay, so I'm not sure if you heard, but he whispered in his client's ear, "I will fucking kill you if you answer another question with more
Play
than
it
5
again,
words."
because I feel like
Play it again. Yeah, I didn't hear
I want to
that.
make it out.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
struggling.
You'll hear it. Yeah, okay.
It was just regularly done. Answer the question. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, I definitely heard it that time.
Is that not insane?
It is very. Someone said, "Yeah, it's pretty clear in the chat." No, it is clear if you know to listen for it. When you're not
right.
like trying to make the words out, it just sounds like someone whispering, which might be. You might think you're catching something, but it could be, they were saying something else. But if you know to look for it.
I do have just one question though, because this is just me based on the movies. If you're trying to hide what you're saying, wouldn't you cover the other way? Like, he's not covering his mouth when he did that, right? He's just covering the other side.
Let me one more time.
Yeah, rewind it. I want to see again.
Okay. He Michael Scotted it.
It was just regularly done.
Oh, he doesn't cover it all. Never mind.
He doesn't cover it all. He's just getting really close.
He doesn't cover it all. He just goes.
What's great is he's saying it with a big old smile on his face too. Look at that.
I was
He's
going to
really
say
trying to
that
hide.
it's funny.
Yeah. And listen, if I was an attorney, I'm not an attorney, but if I were an attorney and my client were very guilty, I would advise them to not speak that much. I would tell them to speak as little as possible. So to me, I felt like this was very telling. It's very weird for an attorney to say that, but it's just it's
not
crazy.
weird for an attorney to say that at all. I don't think so.
I mean, to say it right there, perhaps, right? Like, this is what you say.
I guess they're usually more discreet about it. Maybe they write down on a piece of paper right in front of them.
Yeah. Or have a code word.
You on a note.
tap him on the foot or something. Like, hey, you're incriminating yourself. Shut the fuck up. But he just straight up said, I will fucking kill you if you don't. Like, I don't think he's being literal, like, I'm going to kill you. But he's just saying, you're talking too much. You have to stop because you're going to go to jail.
So where's the mic? Is it the ones like that are on the desk or something? Like,
I think it's one of those. So he probably thought that he was being discreet, but he was not as inconspicuous as he thought. He was whispering, whispering pretty loud.
Well, where's the mic? Where's the mic? I don't see it. Wait, can we play that clip? Or can you just you don't even play it? Maybe just scroll through it. Where is the mic?
No, we can watch it again. That's fine. Well, this is at an angle, so it's probably going to be somewhere like behind the water bottle, I'm assuming. So we're not going to see it. It's out of frame.
Because the mic's not. It's pretty far. I wouldn't think I'm getting caught on the mic either, honestly.
It was just regularly done.
Answer the question.
Okay. It was just.
That's
Wait, so he says, I'll kill you if you answer the question, and then he says, answer the question, right?
No, answer another question with more than 5 words.
Oh, okay.
So he just doesn't want him to talk too much, just really simple, short, sweet answers.
Oh, yeah, because also people who aren't trained for this sort of thing, once they start talking, they can't stop. They just start unwittingly giving out more information as they go.
Right. Like, if I ever committed a crime, I would be so fucked because I can't answer a single question with like less than 5 paragraphs. Like, I don't shut the fuck up, so I would be screwed. But thankfully, I've never done anything that would land me in prison. So there's
everybody.
Sorry, go ahead,
go
Rebecca.
Ahead. No, I was just like, I've been working this job, so I ain't been really on, social media or within the news, but I've been reading what I can. And then the last, Like It or Not, that I did with Ben this past Saturday, we were discussing how all of the gruesome things within the Epstein files, and how we don't think people are outraged enough, right?
Yeah.
And one of my high school, I'm from South Florida, West Palm Beach, and that's Palm Beach Island is where I used to go to the beach at, whatever. Doesn't mean I'm rich. That was where the rich folks stayed, but we would always go to the beach there. I had my first run-in with the law there, and it was a bad experience, just for going to the beach at 17. But that's a story for another day. I have a friend that I went to high school with, white girl. They had integrated our schools, like we was segregated, but they had integrated our schools with the rich white folks and the Haitian black kids, and then we all was together, the Caribbean kids. But I had a friend, and I played her video on Like It or Not, but she basically, I didn't know this at the time, because a lot of the kids, they were rich and whatever, but she was going to them Epstein parties, and she said that she was, she talks about how she was raped, and then she went back and robbed him, but that was whatever.
Good for her.
Take back her power. Yeah, but she talks about that, and she says that should be a lot of what people are talking about, because for her, she got to live her life. But then I thought about, dang, I remember, because a lot of my white friends who were rich, they mamas wasn't really there, but their moms were taking them to Epstein parties, and their parents were taking them out there. That's how they went over there and stuff. That's how they got the relationships with them. So I just thought about that too. I was just like, dang. But she was saying like how the story of the victims, because her name wasn't redacted in it, in the files. And, she was like, but the rest of them who also weren't redacted, they, are not in positions like her, they are now out there. Their information is out there. They can be doxxed, all of the things. And so just thinking about those details, but then going into the gruesome details that are in it with, children being like eaten, or all of those things. And I'm like, we played a video of a man who was in the airport when it dropped, and how he was outraged and like yelling in the airport, like, why aren't we saying anything about this? Like, why isn't this like the breaking news? Why isn't it headline? Why are these why are we not more angry and pursuing like this, the people that were a part of this, like the monsters that were a part of this? All of this has affected many people. There were so many victims. And then we have babies, like that should be enough for y'all to be outraged about. And it's not, it's just not. And that sucks. Like is it really that we are desensitized, or do we care? I'm just not sure, because back in the day, this would have been primetime news. People would have been upset. People would have been, or would they have been? Because is that how much power Epstein abused and those type of things? Like it just, I'm just not sure. Are people not wanting to believe this to be true? Like I'm not really sure. I'm really
I think there's a limit to how much everyone has power, so that makes you feel helpless. But it's really fucking weird that the whole world just has to now go on ... And there's all these pedophile rapists in power
Just out in
everywhere.
public, yeah.
Everywhere, like in all of the major tech companies controlling all of our social media, all of our data, weapon systems, Palantir, Peter Thiel, Steve Bannon. This is like so many 8 members of the Trump administration, fucking, the monarchs, royal family members. It's just like, it goes on and on. How many presidents? It's fucked.
And we only know most of what we know from a lot of emails where they admitted some of the crimes, but what they've already admitted is mind-blowing. Like, I really struggle to wrap my head around some of this. It's stuff that seems like it comes from a fucking movie that's a little bit too on the nose. Like, there is a recent one that I heard about was that Epstein was growing a plant that he was using to drug girls, and this was like the plot of a movie even. So I don't know if the movie producer was also in the Epstein files and gave him that idea, or if he got the idea from the movie. But it's a particular plant, angel trumpet, I think. I can't remember the name of it, that you can use. He was using this, apparently. There's also audio recordings of them talking about disposing bodies. It's so over the top that it almost feels unreal. And to me, it's when we were doing our live calls, one of the callers said that, like, as a survivor, she felt really traumatized by it. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, if I feel traumatized by this, I can't imagine how somebody who's actually been impacted by this personally would feel, because it's disturbing for, like, even just regular people to think about how all of these things were going on. And they were so open about it. They were so brazen, the way they joked about it to each other, and the way that everybody just wanted to be in Epstein's orbit. Like, he was this demigod. And that's what I'm still really struggling to wrap my head around. It's that every single person who met him, they just wanted to huff his farts after that. And it's bizarre. Like, Peter Attia, who is not going to be fired from CBS News, by the way, was emailing Epstein about how he gets Epstein withdrawals, or he gets, he gets like withdrawals if he doesn't see Epstein enough. And I don't understand how people were so enamored by this fucking pedophile. And even Noam Chomsky and his wife, his wife was like, "Oh, you're our bestest friend." I genuinely do not get it. Is it like, it can't just be that, oh, he has access to all of the kids. It has to be something else also, like that they were so drawn to him. And people will say, oh, well, if you watch interviews with him, he's charismatic. But like, there are charismatic people you don't treat like that. It like feels culty
I don't
to me.
find him charismatic. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think jaded. We all know him as like the child rapist, right? So like, I can't see his face without thinking that's a fucking child.
The well's
rapist.
been poisoned for us.
Yeah, exactly, right. So there's no version of Epstein that's not the child rapist to me. So
I mean, for anyone interacting with him post 2009, they should have, that should be their version of him too.
Yeah, Finkelstein saw it.
He went to prison for I forgot exactly what it was, but it was something with an underage girl.
Soliciting the prostitution of a minor. Like
I mean, his prison sentence was basically a year of him being able to go to work every day. Like, he wasn't stuck in the prison. He got a real sweetheart deal.
But slap on the wrist.
Abusing power. That's what they do. Like these people are like the most powerful. Like, he was all of the things, and that was just a little bit that I caught. And it was disgusting, but knowing like he can go and have these like meetings where he's grooming the girls, like almost like a camp where he's grooming these girls and children, and with Peter Roth, who does like facial products. I had some of his stuff, and I had to throw it away because I'm like, when I saw an email that he shared, he put out a Peter Thomas Roth. He put out a immediate, I want to say like email or a statement, and he was like, I am, he said, Epstein was like my friend, and he was one of the first people from when I came out of college, and told me I was going to be something, whatever he wrote in that statement. And then said, but what I've heard about him is so bad, and I condemn it, and I don't want anything to do with it. And somebody put underneath that, like, this you? And then it had like the email, because everybody naming the emails. You just want to make sure that you was just not caught up in nothing in them emails. But he was saying, like, will you come over and meet with the girls and tell them about products and stuff? So it was like this type of grooming that had to be normal, but he had where it was like this up and coming beauty products person to come and teach these girls how to, I guess, groom themselves, wash their face, and then probably some designer was there to give them clothing and, all this kind of these things. But it was the connections that he had with these people and they were doing it because it was Epstein. And here's my issue with this. I know, because this is America and they do weird shit like this. In like 10 years, 20 years from now, there's going to be a Netflix special that is going to glorify Epstein in some type of way.
Oh yeah,
humanize him.
No, I don't think there's anything that glorifies him. They'll definitely. I think
he was
that
this
ship is
lavish
sailed.
person. No, they be doing that.
No, they actually there was a you remember that, was it VH1 show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? There's an Epstein episode. There's an Epstein episode before. Yeah.
What? Okay.
You never seen this?
Oh, so Rebecca, you were right.
And no, they're gonna put that inside. They're gonna put that inside of the movie about how he was so loved and how this and how that, and it's just, I know it's coming, but they're not upset right now about what was in those files. People like the little information that I got. My best friend was talking to me about it, and she has not been somebody who has been, watching much of what's been going on with that. But the little information she got kept her up a few nights ago, because it was like, she was just like, this man did that. And that was just a little bit. He's done so much more. And it makes me think about Diddy in a way, how the abuse of power is just right there. So
Rebecca,
how they read.
Rebecca, did you see the clip that Mike has of like politicians leaving the room after seeing the uncensored files and the looks on their faces? And like, they look like ghosts. Like, it's like their souls leave their bodies. They're just like, and they're just like, fuck those assholes. Like they've seen some shit. Like, yeah. That's like all I was thinking.
Okay, this is the clip that Matt sent me of the, hopefully this is old, so we shouldn't get copyright claimed, hopefully.
Hopefully, they shut me down first.
It's from 2007, so it's even before
shut my stuff down first.
Maybe I will zoom out.
Very small.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. I think that's
good. Okay, let me, because
you don't gotta go. That's start. Yeah, start with where it begins, though. It's one of those VH1 style. If anyone remembers those.
Okay. So this is pre 2008, then, right?
Yes, but still, it's looking. They didn't know anything then, for probably, unless they talked to someone who did know things. But it still does not age well.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna be so disturbed by this.
Financier Jeffrey Epstein. Jeff was a high school math teacher until he traded his blackboard for the big board in 1976, eventually launching his own exclusive finance firm for billionaire clients. but he just couldn't keep out of the classroom. So when he was shopping for a new house, he bought himself an entire schoolhouse.
This is skipping over a lot of important
And
information.
transformed it into the largest
A
single
lot of key
residence
information
in
is
all
left
of
out.
Manhattan at a whopping 51,000 square feet.
Oh, yeah. The school costs about $20 million, and he's dropped $10 million just renovating it. It has incredible bells and whistles, closed-circuit televisions, a heated sidewalk out front, so
That's not
the snow
good.
melts.
That's not good.
But only one man truly rules the Wall Street skies. Because for former school teacher turned billionaire Jeffrey Epstein,
They're playing copyrighted music. I have to fast forward it.
Okay.
That's Blue
I've
Cantrell.
seen enough. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about the island even.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He even owns his own island.
Yeah, that's insane.
He had more than enough cash to buy his own piece of the Virgin Islands.
Jeffrey
Oh my
Epstein owns a 70-acre private island called Little St. James.
Oh god, this is so fucking disturbing.
That's so fucked up.
Okay, I think we should
And
probably.
that's what I'm saying. He was literally he done bought a piece of that island. I heard that, you know, flying people out there, doing his own, like just whatever he had going. I heard that he had purchased something about acid or whatever. It's just all
That one's crazy. Gallons of it. Gallons and gallons of sulfuric acid. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, this is Breaking Bad plots. Like, this is fucked up.
What are you doing with it? And then it's like my mind is going all different places, and I'm just thinking about missing children, missing people. Like, I hate it. I hate
bodies that are
this-
buried
Yeah, or
in New
dissolved.
Mexico that haven't been, that they admit is buried, that have not been dug up. No it just, yeah.
people
I
that
do
probably
have,
wanted to speak up, and we never hear about them again. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. No, so I was going to say there's more from the deposition that I wanted to play from Les Wexner. So you all remember the creepy letter that Trump sent? Apparently, Les Wexner was asked about the letter that he sent, and he sent this letter. It looks like he drew breasts, I'm assuming. Yeah. Dear Jeffrey, I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is. And he draws breasts. And he was asked about this, and he says, yes, I wrote this letter for his birthday. Now, Trump denies his letter, but Wexner actually admits it.
Did you yourself write this letter to Mr. Epstein?
Sadly, I did.
Sadly, I did.
Did Miss Maxwell approach you to write this letter for Mr. Epstein's birthday?
I think the request was to write a card or a note or something for a birthday.
5 words.
And did that come from Miss Maxwell?
I don't remember.
Mr. Wexner, would you please read the main body of the birthday note for the record, please?
I wanted to get you what you want. So here it is. Happy birthday, your friend Leslie.
And what was your understanding of what Mr. Epstein would want?
He was a bachelor, so I drew a pair of boobs. As a kind of a joke and offhandedly, I'd say.
Understand.
I hope you do.
You've said a few times throughout this deposition today that you did not consider Mr. Epstein a friend of yours. However, you signed this letter, and I quote, your friend Leslie. Why would you sign your friend Leslie to someone you did not consider to be a friend of yours?
I don't know.
This is the MFer that owned Victoria's Secret. That's what
yeah.
a photo says. So there's more. There is this one where Wexner says that Epstein claimed he was friends with Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, as well as Jeff Bezos, which would not surprise me because this man knew every fucking person in tech, in academia. He knew them all. So this one's pretty short, so I'll play this for you.
He would talk about the founders of Google, that they were friends and he'd visit them. He would talk about got to come out to San Francisco. You should meet the Amazon guy. Bezos. And I said, no, I'm not too busy and I'm interested and I don't do what he does. And I said, but he's really a smart guy. You should meet him. I said, if I'm ever in San Francisco, I'll look him up. I'm too busy. He would talk about the...
Okay, and then another one is this one here, where he, so DOJ and FBI, they have not contacted him. So we know because of Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie that this guy was all over the Epstein files as a co-conspirator. And he says that the DOJ, FBI did not contact him, which goes to show you how hard they're trying to, bust the pedophiles.
That's it. So, real briefly, did the FBI or Department of Justice ever directly speak to you about Epstein or Maxwell? Has the FBI or DOJ ever directly contacted you or spoken to you about Epstein?
Not to my knowledge.
Never. That's it.
That's crazy.
I
Okay.
just don't care.
No,
Like,
it's
he
yeah.
got 3 days left on Earth. And so it's just like, a lot of them feel like, my time has come. They ain't putting me in jail. Like, it's just,
yeah.
it's gonna, I've seen when I don't know if you guys talked about that, arrested Prince Andrews, I don't know, up in London, who also was in the Epstein pictures and files and all the things. He's disgraced.
He's already in
over
Netflix
there.
documentaries, by the way. There's already actually a pretty decent dramatization of Prince Andrew and his scandal that is well worth checking out. I would actually highly recommend it. It's very entertaining.
You see, it's like, who hasn't Epstein rubbed shoulders with or had a relationship with where the person did something for them on behalf of Epstein's power, just to say, like, Epstein asked for it, I did it. Like, he needed a venue, we gave it to him. He needed girls, we gave it to them. He needed makeup, like big brands, like designers, creators. Well, they weren't called creators back then, but just anybody who's anybody, probably people in the media, he had his toe in everything. He had relationships with everybody. And I just, with all of this coming out, and we've been saying release the files, and it's out and nobody is really like, why ain't people outside of Mar-a-Lago? Like, why? I don't know. It's not sitting well with me. Like, how people are this nasty, and the president of the United States is attached to this person big time, and we know he's a felon, but
a million times he's in the files a million times. How is anyone in anything a million times? Like, in any, like, I was saying, like, God's not in the Bible a million times.
But Donald Trump is in the files.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Oh, and just by the
You
way, we
can't
just
deny
found
it.
out that just 2% of the files have been released. So we know everything we know, but it's just 2%. Just like, let that sink in. That is so mind blowing to me, because we've learned so much.
Yeah.
What is I really can't. It don't sit well with me. Like, I cannot. It's been since Saturday since I covered it on my show with Ben, and then I just feel like now it's just like you guys were saying, it's sensationalized in conversations on the internet, and there's just not enough outrage. When I was seeing my former classmate speak on her experience, I was just like, dang, girl, you done went through all that and we ain't even know, but she was groomed. Her family had a relationship with Epstein and friends. And she was saying, like, y'all, you guys have to understand that, like, I saw what happened to other people. Y'all should be really, really outraged that there are people walking around with these scars or who are not here anymore as a result of these things, having to live with this. And think that this was a part of what was okay to be happening to them, to be so young. And, you know, she said she was raped, you know, and she's not looking for pity. She's actually looking for people to be outraged, especially for the other victims who are probably living low-key lives, you know, and names is all over the internet. And people are upset with victims. They're upset with them. And I'm really trying to wrap my mind around that. Like, I was looking at a lot of like conservatives or the toothless conservatives and how they are literally like saying things like they were fast girls that, you know, who wasn't and and I'm like, here we go. Like, that's how they tried to discuss the girls with R. Kelly, how they tried to discuss the people who were going to Diddy parties, how they tried, like, I don't, you know, but here it's at a major level on a huge stage. Like, our president of the United States was a part of this and they not outside the White House. Like they it's just, we're just in that place where is this ever gonna matter? You know, I don't know. Like, it's fucking me up. It's really, I hate this for us as a society. Is we're not really normalizing it. We're not ignoring it, but it's become like
trying to. I've seen a lot of right wing commentary trying to normalize like just outright pedophilia now. You know, I've seen Megyn Kelly, Jesse, who's the Fox News guy, Nick Fuentes is selling Jeffrey Epstein sweatshirts. They're all trying to pretend like he's cool now. Like, it's pretty fucked up. I was like, you're crossing over into that, like, oh, you're just open pedophiles now. Like, it's not even an insult to any of you anymore. That's not good. Yeah, now like it's Nazi pedophiles, like, Jesus Christ. That feels like the final boss of a video game. Nazi pedophiles. Like, that's not supposed to be the people running the world, you know? I'm like, that's supposed to be the people that you destroy to win the game. The Nazi
right. It's weird because it's like we're just supposed to go on about our days as if nothing is different now, when we just found out that there's literally this like conspiracy of like shadowy elites of pedophiles who are running the world, and just like all throughout the world, they're all in on it. It's like a global scheme, and it's just, we're just supposed to like fucking go on about our day. It's crazy to me. So I have a clip from the same deposition. This is where it gets a little bit more ominous. So Wexner talks about the fashion shows that Trump and Epstein went to, that he was there. Now, for those who forgot, Trump owned beauty pageants. He owned teen beauty pageants, and the children said that he would walk in dressing rooms when they were getting dressed.
He openly admitted that. Like, that's something Trump has said.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
I could just walk in on them changing. They'd let me do it. Yeah.
Right. And so he's going to talk. I don't know if he's speaking specifically to that, but he talks about fashion shows, and so yeah, this is a pretty quick clip.
I would go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because it's very important to the brand. At some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there and some Trump was there. And I remember, because Trump would always introduce himself to me. And I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion. I would go to some of the
Yeah, he was there for a different reason, apparently. Okay, I don't know. I might have to reshare. Hopefully the audio works for this. So Les Wexner testified that he never met Epstein victim Maria Farmer, does not know whether she ever stayed on his property, and was never aware she was abused. Maria Farmer claims the blackmail tapes collected by Epstein were later passed to Wexner. She alleges that Wexner was part of a powerful criminal network and describes him as the head of the snake. Farmer says Epstein and Wexner had pinhole cameras installed throughout their homes, and that celebrities at Epstein's residence with underage girls were secretly recorded. So this is something that we've basically long known. There was an email also that Jeffrey Epstein sent to somebody, I can't remember who, maybe it was Ghislaine, talking about how Trump spent hours alone with a victim. So one thing that we can probably say with certainty is that there's a video of Donald Trump probably abusing somebody. But we'll play this clip here. This is 2 minutes.
Do you have sound? I have no sound.
Oh, I was like,
Oh, you don't have sound?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, let me reshare. Sorry.
Okay. Look, this is.
Shit,
yeah,
my
this
bad.
is weird. It's dead silence.
He's just looking all suspicious sitting there.
Yeah, you're like,
Okay.
this is the very ominous part. I was like, this is ominous. You weren't lying.
Maria Farmer was
Can
reportedly
you hear that? Okay.
brought to the guest house in 1996. She stayed there for a summer and claimed she was assaulted there by Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell. Mr. Wexner, do you recall who Maria Farmer is?
I know her name from the press.
Did you ever meet Maria Farmer?
Never.
Is it your testimony today that you do not know whether Maria Farmer's ever stayed on your property?
That would be correct.
How do you not know something like this?
Do you have any reason to not believe Maria Farmer's account of being abused by Jeffrey Epstein on your property?
Objection. On his property.
Let me be sure I answer this correctly. I never met her, didn't know she was here, didn't know she was abused.
When I asked why they recorded everything all the time, I said, is Wexner really paranoid? And he said, yeah, that's one. Epstein said, yeah, that's one way of saying it. He keeps everything. He records it all. He said, I record everything, and I keep it for Wexner in the States.
This is weird. This part here is weird.
So the first house I go to has pinhole cameras.
So this is
just one of
something
the strange new places.
yeah, this was kind of jarring. This is what this person posted. So this is what Maria Farmer was saying about Les Wexner. I don't know what it looked like. This was like a clip from a History Channel documentary, maybe. I'm not really sure. This is a very bad Photoshop, but there is evidence that he was Mossad, or at least like contracted with intelligence agencies.
Oh, absolutely. Not that he was a member of Mossad, but that he was most likely an asset or a connection to the organization.
Right.
I mean, that's how he got connected to everybody. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a Mossad agent or associate. I forget what the proper term is. And then just mysteriously died in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
So,
He just fell out of the boat or something, and
as you fall out of a boat, and then mysterious boating accident.
Yeah, so that's the theory, is that Epstein was so powerful because he had blackmail on all of these world leaders. There was a story from, I think, the 90s. I don't remember. It was like late 90s, where Bill Clinton was blackmailed by Israel because they had dirt on him. Let me see if I could pull that up.
I saw something about that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was actually Netanyahu.
I mean, if there's a fuck ton of video cameras that they found in the property and an unbelievable amount of, I'm sure, data or footage from those cameras, you could probably guess that there is a lot of compromising stuff on there. It doesn't, that's not conspiratorial at all. That's just that's how cameras work. That's that.
And yeah, so this is, we can't say for sure, right? A lot of this is conjecture, but according to Drop Site News, yes, it looked as if Benjamin Netanyahu blackmailed Clinton over the Monica Lewinsky sex tapes. And the question is, how would they get this information? And the answer probably would be Jeffrey Epstein. He's kind of the link where he was friends with Bill Clinton and friends with all of these powerful people.
And in some of those emails, it appeared as if he felt like if he was cross, he was like, yeah, she looked at me, he looked at me crazy. And so he won't like when I drop what or all he has to do is tell somebody to do his dirty work for him.
Murder instructions in some of them.
Yeah.
At least it reads like it. Yeah.
Oh,
it was like really or effing up somebody's career. You won't see another day in Hollywood. You won't see people just all because they said something crazy to him or something.
Yeah, to your point, Rebecca, he also tried to extort Bill Gates over extramarital affair. So he had dirt on all of these fucking dudes.
In the emails, he talked like that. In the emails, it was like, oh, yeah, he don't want me to tell the people about when he was doing this and that. Oh, that'll be his. Don't worry, I'm going to handle that. It was so like a monster, like a
Yeah.
literally like. Ooh.
So it's like he'd get the, you know, he would attract these friends who were super wealthy and powerful and presumably offer up the victims, traffic them to these powerful men, get them on camera, and then use that against them. We're talking about powerful people in tech, in governments around the world, and that I think explains why he's connected to he's connected to so many people around the world. And I feel like you're not just gonna be a socialite. Oh, he's just really, people like to hear what he has to say about finances. No, there's a reason why he's connected. It's because he's also connected to intelligence agencies around the world, at least Israel, possibly the CIA. Like it's fucking crazy. Like the movie that they make about this, if they actually make it accurate, it's gonna be wild.
They're gonna make a movie though. You know they're gonna make a movie. That's one thing they do out here in America. They gonna make that movie. Somebody gonna play Jeffrey real nice. Somebody, and they gonna make money off of that. But the victims ain't never gonna see no kind of
nothing.
Just
not a dime. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Although one of the victims, she accused Donald Trump of raping her when she was a child, and we saw this in the dump from about a month ago, where there was an FBI tip line. And do you remember the girl who claims that she witnessed another girl who was forced to give Trump oral sex, and then she bit him and he punched her?
But wasn't that one deemed to be uncredible in the list of like, 'cause it was like on the right bar, it was like credible, not credible.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Because that was what the witness said. So maybe the witness who supposedly saw that was not credible. But the actual girl who supposedly was assaulted by Trump, she is the one that the FBI talked to 4 different times, and they deleted the interviews. And,
no way.
Right, and she sued the Epstein estate in 2021, and she did get a settlement from them. Now, a settlement doesn't necessarily come with an admission of guilt, but they wanted to make that go away. And also, there's other instances of potential criminality with Donald Trump that haven't been looked at. If you watch the Pam Bondi hearing, Ted Lieu got her to perjure herself because he asked her, if Trump was implicated, and she said no, of course. But he said there was an instance where I think it was a limo driver for Trump, I want to say. Watch the clip because I don't want to butcher the details, but the limo driver witnessed Trump having a conversation with Jeffrey Epstein about a girl, and this girl accused him of rape. It was a child, to be clear. It was like, I'm not sure what the age in particular, 13, 14, so a child. And they threatened to have her killed if she spoke about it, and threatened to have her killed like another girl who had her head blown off. And for this girl in particular, if you follow that thread, and this is what Ted Lieu said, he showed the file on the House of or not on the House, but it was in the committee. But that girl in particular, she had her head blown off, and then the police officers who arrived at the scene said it wasn't possible that was a suicide. And so they were presumably threatening that girl who was accusing them of rape, that you're going to end up like her. And the FBI never did anything to contact this witness who saw that. Nothing. Just let it go. And now they're saying we're going to move on. So there's so many things. Like, not all of it is going to be true, right? Who knows? There's been some things in there that they didn't find any evidence for. I think one of them was on that FBI tip line. There was one with like all the Trump children at a party, and they said that there was no evidence of that. But there's a lot that they didn't look into. There's testimonies here, the sworn testimonies of a witness saying that, okay. The one that said she saw Trump threaten to kill the family of a victim, she actually made that statement under oath. So that comes with the penalty of perjury. And she said she saw Donald Trump threaten to kill somebody if they ever spoke about Epstein and his criminality. So there's a lot to go off of. And the DOJ is just sitting on all of this evidence. Like, we don't know for sure, right? It needs investigation, but they're just like, we're done. We're moving on. And Trump's like, I've been totally exonerated, which He absolutely the fuck has not. So it's just, we're seeing the darkest shit. There's also, like, this has actually risen to the level for the legal definition internationally of crimes against humanity with some of the things we're seeing. And we're doing jack fucking shit in this country. It's just,
Nothing.
it's so dark.
That's the word that somebody used in my comment section as well in the chat, and I feel like that is the word. It is dark. It makes me feel so heavy, but I also feel like it has to be exposed. They've waited so long to release files, and then they gave you 2%. The first part of it was all they gave you nothing. It was redacted, and then they, gave you more, and it was the information that we got is already gruesome, and that's only 2%. And to know that the things in there don't make people not go, but be like, what the fuck? Like, Donald Trump has something to do with this. Our president of the United States has something to do with he got impeach this man. The fact that it's not the conversations, like back in my day, this would have been the breaking story. This would have been mainstream. Like this would have been the story, and it would have been every single day. They would have been trying to break it down. They would have been talking to victims. They would have been talking about the people who who are a part of it that are still alive. They would have named the celebrities that are credibly in there. They would have done something, but it's just like, is that how much power he has, that they just also are like, we gonna stay away from the Epstein conversation, or we can't really get into it? Like,
I can't see a sitting president getting arrested, right, or investigating himself. I mean, like it all depends. Oh, hi.
He was like, "What?" He was like, "What you doing?"
Yeah, I was like, "Why are you guys so upset? Why is everyone so angry?" Yeah, totally forgot what I was gonna say. Cat distracted.
It's so cute. The cat
Oh,
came
yeah.
to bring to life.
And to what Rebecca was saying, if this happened in the 90s, I completely agree that there would have been people like burning down aspects of the White House by this point. Just like I just think, because to be fair, there's like a shocking thing that happens like every day in the news now. Now the news is just like, oh wow, I can't believe that happened. This happened, genocide, bombing. A president just got kidnapped, right? So there's a lot of like wild stuff. But right now, even in amongst all that, it's all consuming. It's just like, oh my God, the whole world is led by these pedophile rapists, monsters, right? So if this happened, back in the day, it would if it turns out Trump either knew of his death, covered his death up, and or is in any of these files, and everyone around him has been covering up, this is the biggest political scandal in American history without any equal, that connects every level of power. Ehud Barak, prime ministers of Israel, Bill Clinton and Trump, like there's Putin. There's so many people in this shit.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's everybody. Like it was like
Sultans,
crooks. I'm gonna be friends with them. Like, I'm gonna be a part of anybody who's out, music, like just whatever industry this man has literally infiltrated in some type of way or had a relationship with these people. And it makes me think too, a lot of these people are like, I was just a college student when I first met Epstein. Okay, and now you're like the biggest name brand out. Like, how was that? What did you give up? Like, what did you so that's when I think about that brand, Peter Thomas, and I think about, you were talking about knowing him as a college student, and now you're one of the biggest brands in like Ulta and beauty, and especially for people who are of a certain age. And he brought you out to come and groom these girls and tell them how to use the products and stuff. And so it just makes me think, a lot of these people thought, if I just get Epstein to like me or mention me or get me to go over there, I'm pretty sure he can make my career something. I'm pretty sure that like he was abusing his power in that way, and it sucked. And it ain't far-fetched with these conversations about a lot of these parents just being like, Epstein wants you. you just go ahead, go to the Epstein parties. I feel like they were just selling their kids too, just to be a part of whatever Epstein was doing. Like that was the
Upper
thing.
society, or being a socialite, getting to meet all the rich people and networking.
Mm-hmm. The proximity to what they viewed him as, just power. Like
Power.
that's Epstein, where we're going over there. Like we're like, he can do this for you, like the
He
damn
knows
wizard or
people.
something.
He has connections.
Yeah.
He's your.
And he did.
Yeah.
He'll get you if you just meet him. He'll give you $1 million, or he'll do this for you, or if you just, it sucks. It really. Just to hear that about those babies, what kind of weird ass shit were they on? But that's the thing about these rich people, they be on that weird ass shit. These billionaires and stuff, they're on these type of weird, demonic, dark things, and get away with it.
Yeah,
because it's like once you become a billionaire, you've basically won at life. So how do you, where can you even find a thrill? They've bought their yachts. They've done everything that a human can possibly do. So then it's like, okay, I guess we're going to do really sick shit. We have power. We can do what we want. So we might as well. That's that's the only thing I could think of, because it's like, is it like they're all, they're just, all of them are pedophiles? That's fucking crazy.
And married with other, and with children and families and things. So I think about that too. I'm like, so you were good to your family, and then out here.
Well, Bill may have given Melinda an STD. They were also bringing it
true.
If that's true, right? That's alleged, but
I'm pretty sure a lot of them, and because they were just all so sick. Like I think about Donald Trump's son, the youngest, Barron, whatever his name. But I think about him and how these kids really just come into the world innocently, but then they're also groomed in a way to go the way of their parent, or to leave because of the grooming, to escape it. And I think it's wrong that they bring children into the world under these conditions, and these kids have to be attached to this, or have to see what happened growing up, and to know that happened and they were a part of it, and that's their bloodline. Or it's just and then to think about wives, I don't have any empathy or sympathy for Melania, but I think about these other people.
You see, the director of Melania the movie is another one of the Epstein Files guys, Ratner, and he's the one in pictures with Epstein and survivors. He most likely raped kids. Yeah, and he directed the Melania movie and on Amazon.
This is connected. It's all sick people who are connected. Watching the man that you just showed, what was his name, Levi, whatever that old man was, seeing him with his wedding ring, you got to live your life and be married and do all this stuff and be at this old age. Like I said, you got 3 days to you going to see the devil, but you got to live your life, and to know that you abused your power, or aligned with somebody that did that to do dark things to people, and just get to sit here, be questioned and kiki about these things.
Go straight home after that.
And go straight home and rest.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same way about it that I do with the fact that Henry Kissinger never went to jail. None of these war criminals go to jail. They live long, healthy lives. George Bush is Ellen's friend and gets hugs, and that guy has so many dead children on his hands and will never know justice, right? It's fucked.
It's a really, really cruel world.
Yeah. Not that we shouldn't stop trying to persecute and lock up every one of these pedophiles. Jesus Christ, I'm never gonna have a conversation where I normalize, Trump or the pedophile circles. What is someone going to be friends with Ellen now? I'm going to be like, no, the child rape. Never let that go. They're all horrifying monsters.
Yeah,
I guess shout out to Melinda Gates and Norm Finkelstein and even Joe Rogan, because these are the only people at least that I can think of right now.
Not Joe Rogan. I will explain why. Joe Rogan, this is not a conspiracy, has had more Epstein associates and close friends of Jeffrey Epstein than any other podcast host.
That's
You see
true.
the photos of it. It's just like his personal chef, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk,
Yeah.
Mattia, Lawrence Claw. Like it's a rotating carousel. It's the Jeffrey Epstein experience, right? So and I only say that because he loves talking about Epstein, but doesn't question any of them. Like they're
Right.
sitting across the table from him. You have better access to anyone who would know the answers. That's his like fucking chef, right across from you.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
but at least as far as we know, he did not partake in the
Didn't know.
criminality, and there's just like a small handful of people who could have had access to Epstein, like Melinda Gates, Norm Finkelstein, and they said no, fuck that, because they knew what we all knew. So I guess like credit in that sense. Hi.
And Norman
it's just-
Finkelstein, I think, wins for
He
like
absolutely
person
wins
who
the
is more
day.
redeemed by the Epstein files than hurt by the Epstein files.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy because even like the wives of some of these men, like Howard Lutnick's wife, went to the island with him. So many of the wives partook. Noam Chomsky's wife went as well. I don't know if they went to the island, but like she sent the email saying we consider you our best friend. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what he had on these people, why they were so enamored by him, but that to me is like the weirdest part. I want to see the other 98%. Like I don't want to see it because I know it's going to be disturbing, but like we have to get to the bottom of this because just knowing that like this happened for so many years and it was an open secret in
under
elite
Democrats
circles.
as well as Republicans, because
Right.
everyone's involved. Like
Yeah.
everyone's
They're
involved.
all, yeah.
Yep.
And that's why I say that he had some kind of power where everybody actually would seek him out for relationships, and if he reached out to them and they wouldn't turn it down, and that goes for whatever party you sided with or were working with. It didn't matter. It was just like, I don't think he gave a damn. It was just however we can get on or get around or do. I'm pretty sure people accepted money for whatever they were doing politically from Epstein. It didn't matter. It was just like, do this for me and I do this for you. Or like, yeah, we see this. It seems like it's just in movies, but this stuff exists. People are hurt by it. People are allegedly dead by it. Children were allegedly eaten. Why did he have the acid? Was he burning people's bodies up? Was that what, like, investigations need to be underway a little deep. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they should be like searching the properties. There should be dispatches. There should be helicopters. Right? It should be like, oh my god, like
the victims should be the victims who are willing to speak up, and instead of using their their social medias, a lot of the media should be pulling them in so they can tell their stories. Like this is like, what are we doing? What are we?
Yeah.
There's so much here that we can't ignore it, but like I don't know. It really bothers me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all like collectively processing this together as
Yes.
a country, and we're all equally like, well, not all equally, but like a lot of us are so horrified because it just feels like you're watching a train wreck unfold, and we're just kind of sitting by and letting it happen, whereas other countries are taking action and they're investigating and arresting the people who are implicated, which that's what you're supposed to do. That's what normal countries are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Although I will give credit to Canada, though. I don't think there's any Canadians, is there?
in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a mention of one of
okay.
the largest grocery store chains, but that's not proof that he went to Epstein Island. The Sultan who got exposed, I think, has a ferry company, DMP or something like that. They run most of the terminals in Canada. So the Canadian ferry terminals are potentially run by an Epstein pedophile.
Oh, shit.
which isn't great. So that one's wild. I don't know if I should check if Kevin O'Leary's in there because I just feel he's. If you don't know Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy, also from the film Ready Supreme, he is being one of the biggest weirdos outside of Michael Tracy for yelling at people on TV shows when they bring up Epstein because he's just like, maybe they were raped, maybe they weren't raped. Who gives a shit? Kind of stuff like that. And everyone's like, well, I think everyone, because this is really fucked up. And like everyone, it seems who's involved has been lying to us. That's like the most damning part, right? Is like you'll see a person like Elon Musk be like, I knew that things were bad. I never wanted to go there. I said no. I'm so honorable. And then it's like, no, you begged to go there all the time on Christmas morning. You were begging. He was on Christmas morning writing the world's most prolific pedophile an email, being like, can I please come when the island is at its most depraved? So you're
girls for the win.
Yeah, girls for the fuck. That was the thing for me, is that I was just like, I already there was just an overwhelming amount of evidence that Trump is most likely a serial rapist pedophile. That's not a shock to me. What's a shock is the degree to which everyone lied with confidence. It's one thing to lie, but it's another thing to lie when it's so if because I know that Elon would have had access to knowing it was his emails, right? So he sent those emails, so he knows he begged to go to Epstein Island. To say out loud, that's a level of confidence that you'll never get caught. No one's ever gonna find out, or this will never get leaked, right? It's fucked. Yeah, Lutnick too. Lutnick's confidence also was super weird. Where
he played that shit up. This guy was a creep. Oh my God. I never saw him again. And my wife and I were like, we both agreed that we are never going to see him again. Right, babe? Yeah.
He said he got massages, the good kind. I knew. I just knew. No, motherfucker. You grabbed your kids and jumped on the plane is what you did.
Crazy.
You didn't cut off contact. You increased it.
Insanity. This person makes such a great point. This was always projection by MAGA against the LGBTQ. Why did they base their whole campaign on this? Can he not talk about it? That is such a great point, because for the past several years we have talked about how they're accusing everybody. If a queer person just comes into contact with a child, that is grooming, because they're going to see them. They're going to turn
a book. If you're reading a book to a child, that's grooming.
Straight up
a
grooming.
Breakfast cereal has pronouns on it, that's grooming. If Legos are multicolored, that's grooming.
That's
It's all
grooming.
grooming. Pronouns, grooming.
If you're watching this video and you see these Legos, congratulations, you've been turned gay or trans. It's just.
Meanwhile, they were actually doing that.
They were doing what they were accusing innocent queer people of doing. It's so infuriating to me. It's like, so it really the whole. So I don't know who coined the term "every accusation is a confession." That is the truest fucking statement ever. Pedocon theory is 1,000% true. It's undeniable at this point.
Yep. Across the board.
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
that's the part that really made my brain fry, was just seeing that all the people who've been pushing things like QAnon and stuff like that for the last couple of years. It's how much of this is being influenced by people who were actually doing stuff like this, and then we're trying to make the whole world be pizza was a code for a pedophile, which was a code for little boys, which is how they put them in the Wayfair cabinets to get the adrenochrome. I spent years mocking these people and be like, all of you are insane, blah blah blah, this is not true. And then it's okay, well, it's parts of it are true, but it's not the way. You had the wrong targets. Okay, the target was billionaires. The pedophiles are billionaires. It's not Jewish people. It's not liberals. It's not a secret Illuminati. It's none of that. It's billionaires, politicians, rich ass people, celebrities, people with power. Those are the.
But now those people don't care. Now that they can basically say that they were validated, they're like, no, Trump is innocent. It's not real.
No, they're defending it.
Bro.
Yeah.
Take the win. You guys won. Well, should we start getting the super chats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show breezed by.
It did, because Epstein. Well, I wasn't here for the first hour, so it breezed by for me, for real.
We were talking about aliens, actually. I think we
were talking about that. Was really fun.
Yeah. We spent the whole time talking about Obama and him saying that aliens are real and all that stuff.
All right, this is the first one that I see for you, Rebecca.
That is the only one, actually. The only, because they wasn't loving on me tonight, but I did get some cash up, so I'll
Okay.
check those out too. So thank you so much. Rebecca is necessary for this panel at this point. I hope our opposition gets accountability. Let's put them in iron mask, as Brandon S. said. Thanks, y'all. Make Thursday better. I'm happy that we make your Thursday better. I don't know who Brandon S. is, but thank you so much for your super chat. Your cat is the cutest. Like
she's
like I think this is my first time seeing your cat. And
So
what's up?
affectionate.
The cat is needy today. I've never seen the cat before. No, it was the cat coming up to you and was like, "Hey, dad."
She's very needy. She does come, but she doesn't like. She usually is by my leg, and she doesn't get on camera as much. But today she wants to be.
Today I saw her paw. She was like, "Hey, like the energy. Let's stop this." She felt it. She felt it. Okay. So shouts out to you, Michael. Thank you so much for your super chat. And Sheila, thank you so much for your super chat as well. All right, y'all. That's it for me today. I will see you guys on next Thursday. I love you guys. Mean it. Next Thursday, we're gonna be in March. Can you believe that? We'll be 3 months
seriously
into the year. Yeah. Next. No,
Oh
I
my
could be making
God.
that up. I'm lying. I put us
I gotta
in
check.
March. We still gonna be in February. I mean,
the Monday after. The Monday after that.
Yeah,
You're 1 week ahead of us.
Yeah, okay.
You're living 1
Sorry.
week
I was
ahead
about
of
to
us.
panic. Like, wait, how?
It's crazy.
Whoa.
I love you guys. I'm tired. I love you guys. Mean it. Bye.
You take care.
She's
All right, Lance,
traveling
did you want to
time.
go?
Yeah, I only have a couple too. There's not a lot to read. I got the coveted Prairie Fire Neb. Thank you so much for the $10. You claim there are no signs of aliens here on Earth. Then explain to me where all the crop circles have come from and who was probing my livestock. I can't speak to your livestock. That is, a mystery for the gods. But in terms of the crop circles, I think there's quite a lot of documentaries on how they actually occur. It's not magic or aliens. But yeah, thank you so much for the dono.
It's people.
Oh, it's people, yeah. Old man in Philly, thank you so much for the $10. Is the conservative movement dying up your way? Poilievre lifting weights seems like a Kmart version of RFK sipping the whole milk in the hot tub with Kid Rock. It ain't helping that their MPs stay in office. For all the American viewers, if you don't know, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada recently put out a I like to lift things video where he lifts weights and gets really swole and manly. I don't know if it'll help him because he's polling abysmally with women and always has. He's really bad with women. I think he's like negative, like 50 or something with women. It's shockingly. Yeah, he's really bad with women. I mean, like he uses like MGTOW hashtags and like really appeals to the incel community, so that doesn't help him either. I don't think the movement. MGTOW is like the men's rights movement, like red pill philosophy, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's shitty. Andrew Tate, Sneeko, Fresh and Fit. That's all. That would all be considered like MGTOW. Thank you, old man in Philly, for the $10. Sorry, that was the one I just read. Sorry to answer the question. Is the conservative movement dying? No, it's morphing and changing, and there's elements of it that are going to be kept at bay, but there's other elements of it that are very scary. If Doug Ford, the brother of the crack-smoking mayor of Toronto, becomes the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, I think he's going to sweep the country in a wave of conservatism because he is going to be our Boris Johnson. He's very that'll appeal to the normie. I want change, but I like this guy. He can drink beer with me kind of aesthetic. It would be very bad, and that could happen. So we'll see. And then finally, thank you, Looney Tunes, for the $1.99. I heard Johnny Somali wants to debate Binder one-on-one. Matt Binder will have to answer that. That's for Binder to let you all know, and I'll hand over the microphone to him because
Okay, MGTOW is an acronym too. Men going their own way. Okay, I'd heard the acronym, but I'd never known what that meant.
Oh wait, I missed that one. I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. What is that one? Bring it up again.
It's scrolling by in the chat. MGTOW. It's like a men's.
Oh
rights
yeah,
stuff.
men
So
go their
that's
own
what
way.
Lance
Yeah,
said. Pierre
they were
Poilievre
a subgenre of the men's rights activists.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You
famously went head to head with them, didn't you, Binder? Aren't you?
Yeah, I did. What was the guy's name? Paul Elam or something like that. Yeah.
Didn't he rank you like soy leftist of the year or something like that?
No, there was a different They were MGTOW, a men going their own way streamer or video maker, put together that one. It was Mangina of the Year.
That's right. Sorry, I missed it.
Which is much
Mangina-
funnier than Soy Boy.
which is much funnier.
Much more of a
Mangina's
prestigious
hilarious.
award.
Yeah, that's an awesome award. I would be like, hell yeah. I'm
I
put that
feel
on my
like
wall.
gays should appropriate Mangina for their pussies. That would be funny.
Why not? You should.
Yeah, I like that.
Should I go first, I guess?
Sure.
Sure. All right. Tokyo Hans with a membership super chat, member for 31 months. I'm pretty sure aliens aren't real because Trump would have outed them to distract from the Epstein files. Well, he just did. He just took him a while to think up that strategy. C. the Ginimer, member for 30 months. Thanks for sticking up for the trans community, y'all, especially Mike. It's scary out there for us right now. No, definitely.
welcome.
It's yes.
Absolutely.
Like, there's really
Tok-
a lot of good videos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That story, I'm assuming the latest thing is the right wing covering that Rhode Island family shooter.
Oh, I didn't talk about
you
that.
mean the MAGA Nazi Groiper?
Yeah, the
Nazi
guy
shooter.
And an SS tattoo who loved Trump and loved Nick Fuentes. Yeah,
Right,
They literally had a fucking Totenkopf tattoo with the SS.
Yep.
That is
Right.
like, you don't get to say, "Oh, this is another trans shooter, bro." That's your team.
Oh, that's
That was
right.
Nazi.
And then did you see the follow-up story that, interestingly enough, the New York Post broke, where the shooter has a 37-year-old son who's currently serving 7 years jail time in Texas for burning down a black church.
What?
No shit.
Yeah. So this is a family that
Wow.
the shooter was apparently grooming to be as
Nuts.
racist as him,
Yeah,
as
it's a
the
family
shooter.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. Legacy Nazis. Jesus. Yeah,
I
like,
accidentally misgendered the shooter, and I gotta say, I feel like that's one area where maybe you don't have to be so. We don't have to be so. We could be a little bit loose with, because this person was a person who, according to the family members, even there was an interview with the daughter, who outright said like this person was mentally unwell well before there was any discussion of even gender dysphoria issues. Like this was a long-standing concern about what is her father. And I think that is something that got missed, obviously, with everything. This person was not well.
I think it's fucked because, like, trans people, like any other group, they're not a monolith, and there is going to be, unfortunately, Nazis in any group, right? There's indigenous Nazis, like there's pictures, and I'm just like, what the fuck what are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? This is so obscene. But like, fine, any group will have that. But like, I think the shitty and horrifying difference is that cis people don't get blamed as a totality for every single mass shooting, even though we commit them all. Right? Like it could not be more striking that every single time. Like, it sucks because I'm in BC, and we just had one of the biggest mass shootings in Canadian history, and the shooter was also trans, and so that's obviously the media has been dominating, talking about her history, all the shit she did, and it's like these two things happen so close in proximity to each other that now, even though the stats are still like, that's literally the only trans mass shooter ever in Canadian history. There's one, just literally one, and you guys have, I think, 5, right? Like, ever.
I mean,
right?
I'm sure there are trans people who become shooters. I also think in some of these cases they were misdiagnosed. They were not suffering from gender dysphoria, perhaps. I mean, based on what this interview I was reading with this person, like the shooter appeared to be a mentally unwell, complete narcissist. And just like any other narcissist, could have glommed onto people's real sort of struggles to make a story about them. It's totally possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I talked about the poll. The video that I think somebody was referring to was the poll that Lakshad Jain had released, showing that like support for trans rights had really collapsed in the United States, and there were a bunch of Nazis who were like, "Oh, this is evidence why we need to crack down." And liberals were like, oh, this is evidence why the Democratic Party needs to abandon trans people. And that's kind of what I was like talking about with my video.
Yeah, but if you look at the methodology of that poll, first off, the poll doesn't show overwhelmingly that like the majority of the American public is turned on trans people. Like in terms of questions that are worded like, do trans people deserve to have rights in terms of securing their housing and their employment? The majority of Americans say yes, right? And so there were categories in which the way the question is worded, and you have to look at how they're worded too, because if you propose a question that says, do you think we should give puberty blockers to minors? ? And do you somewhat agree, disagree, strongly disagree, right? Like there's obviously going to be the way that's phrased. The majority of people are going to read that and be like, oh, I guess disagree or strongly disagree, right? That's very, very different than, do you think trans people should have health care?
Right.
And the majority of people to that will, of course, say yes. Why wouldn't they? Well, I'm a monster if I say otherwise, right? That should be the issue. And any liberal saying otherwise intentionally, like, I love that those same libs, they don't give two fucks about stats when it concerns things like genocide, amount of Palestinians that are getting fucking massacred off the earth, and like every single time. But it's true, right? And it's like, the overwhelming amount of evidence shows that you have to take this seriously, or you might not win an election, or you might not be able to move forward, right? The stats on this are important. The numbers don't lie. You should really pay attention. It's like, nah, fuck that. We can move forward. Like, this is happening. And then you're like, well, okay, so there, it's clearly not important. But in this one poll, it shows that the question, when worded this way, shows that people have said puberty blockers are not completely on board. And it's like, all right, well then, do you want to enter that, or do you care about like human rights fundamentally? Because I think if you cared about human rights fundamentally, it wouldn't be a matter of the polling or how popular it is. How popular was gay marriage? How popular was aspects of the civil rights movement? Like it's one of those things where it's like those movements happen regardless of the politicians who try to stay on the sidelines and hold people off.
That's a great point. Because like all of a sudden liberals are going to care about what's popular. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous.
Right.
But yeah, that pissed me off. A great point about the wording, because it was framed in a right wing way. The questions were like, it was poisoning the well in advance.
It was, and the fact that centrists or like even Democratic operatives were looking at that and being like, we have to admit that we've lost the debate on trans people. This shouldn't be a debate. That's the weirdest fucking thing to hear, right? It's kind of like, well, we've lost the debate on segregation. I don't know whether or not we should be allowing black people to use the water fountain anymore. We've lost the debate, and it is an important debate to keep having. It's like, no, what are we doing? Like, you shouldn't care about this from the aspect of how popular is it right now. What's the problem, And if you're worried about that, and you're worried about alienating normies, then the truth is, word these things in ways, or talk to the public in ways that conveys a very simple message. Zohran Mamdani did it perfectly. If you're talking about trans rights, just talk about, do you agree that everyone should have equal access to health care? Yes. Most Americans will say yes. Well, you just answered the trans rights question, like right there, when it comes to like, should they have puberty blockers? I don't know if they should have gender affirming care. Should we have, or allow them to see psychiatrists, all that? It's like, do you think everyone should have access to healthcare? Cool. You don't have to know about their healthcare, about what they did with their doctors. That's their business. And like, honestly, for the rest of us, that's where it should end for cis folk, right? Like, I'm not trans. I'm not going to be I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to be in the room. It's not my business.
No, it's like, it's perfectly fine for us to nitpick the specific healthcare that we give to trans people, but for cis people, it's fine. There's no polls about, should you allow parents to circumcise their young boys? Should we allow kids to get Ozempic? Like nothing
breast
like that.
implants, or should I be allowed to, or breast reductions if you're a dude? Should be allowed to do that, like cis men? Like,
should parents let their daughters get on birth control, because it's not just about that controls their period. If they have a period, that's very
it's true.
But no, for trans people, it's fine. We can let's nitpick everything. We got a checklist. Here's what's okay. Here's what's not okay. It just it's so disgusting, and I'm so sorry.
Experience.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I'm sick of it.
I 100% agree. Let's go to the next super chat. Tokyo Hans with 1,000 yen. To prove that aliens are real, I suggest we all gather next week at the gates of Area 51 and storm it by Naruto running into it at the same time. Consider it a birthday present. Can't catch us all. I remember that's something that happened. Yeah.
See them aliens.
Tokyo Hans with another super. Right. So again, with another super chat, 500 yen. A fun fact: due to having no atmosphere, the American flag on the moon is bleached completely white. We are now pre-surrendering to any alien invasion. Ah,
I didn't think about that.
It's
not
also
really.
why it moves. That's one of the conspiracy theories, that it's in a soundstage and stuff like that. But it's like it moves because of inertia. That's
Not really. Rachel Atwood with a super chat. Is Leftist Mafia open to having based congressional candidates as guests on the show? Looking to help to get my pal Jerome Wallen, Massachusetts one, on Big Alternative Media. We discussed doing this. We did it a few times. We sort of wanted to stay away from it because it's just a lot to do.
It also sends the wrong message to people who want to run for Congress that they just need to get on independent media to be successful.
Yeah.
You need to be building community, or you need to be making inroads in your own community. And it's hard to bring on a bunch of people that want to fundraise if we don't even know where they're at. Like, have you opened a field office? Have you hired a staff? So we really want to make sure that like the emphasis is more on you getting in with your community. That's what I think is better. And it's also just it's easier to present it that way, like as that's how you do it. Because I don't like the idea that, oh, you just got to get on Leftist Mafia and that's your breakout moment.
It's definitely not.
No, not at all.
I will say that if someone does do all that work and they're clearly a contender, and they feel like coming on this show would help, then definitely reach out and we would be happy to help. We just don't want to send what Mike said is, I think it's just the wrong message that, the first thing you do is get on this show. This is like the 510th thing you do.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. If you're really if you've really already made inroads in your community and you are, you have multiple field offices open, there's polls showing you're viable, I would love to talk to that person. That's when we'll have a conversation about bringing them on. But you've got to get to that point first, and we're not going to be able to get you to that point. You're going to have to do that yourself by really making sure you've got your own community on lock.
Old Man in Philly with a $10 super chat. The entire Nutlick story about taking his kids to Epstein's Island is the exact opposite of a Jason Isbell lyric. If that dog bites my kid, I'll unalive it. Nutlick would give the dog a treat. N Starks 007 with a $10 super chat. Once you become a billionaire, you can only associate with certain people. Everyone seemingly succumbs to that bubble, even without engaging in depravity. They turn a blind eye, which also gives them power. Nat Mercy with the super chat. Imagine someone telling you 20 years ago that Limp Bizkit would be more on the right side of politics and history than fucking System of a Down. What happened with System of a Down? Was it their drummer? I know their drummer has always been a right winger.
To be clear here, this is members of the band are in both directions. Like, Serge is still as incredible as he always will be. He's been on the right side of history on every issue.
Their drummer's been a right winger forever.
Yeah, their drummer sucks, and in Limp Bizkit, it's the guitarist. It's Wes Borland, who I could go on a whole rant about this, but he actually is a talented musician who was in a shitty band. it's a really weird.
I remember back in the day, everyone saying when Limp Bizkit was good, how great of a guitarist Wes Borland was, and he was like the musical talent of the group.
Yes, he's got one of those weird brains where like he has a sound in his head he wants to hear in the world, and he'll invent the instrument to make that manifest. That's like it's really cool. He can build these like really weird long guitars to make a specific like sound. It's neat.
Sometimes bands just find weird people that they just click with music wise and just make sense.
Wes Borland is saying like fuck ICE right now, and his fan base does not like that.
I'm not calling him the weirdo. I'm saying like maybe he's in with the System of a Down drummer. I'm sure they would love to find a different drummer, maybe, but they click with this guy.
I don't get it. I don't know why the drummer of System is such a right wing piece of
It's
shit in a
weird.
band system. It's really weird. Listen to the
I don't
lyrics of the songs.
right. I don't get how you could be like, yeah, would you just not believe? Have you ever listened to your band's own lyrics?
Yeah, because I love your discography, and your lyrics are incredible, and they're very anti-imperialist across the board.
It would be like if Tom Morello all of a sudden looked at the rest of his band and was like, "Whoa, when did you guys become Rage for the Machine?" It's like,
yeah,
whoa,
why are you so political now?
yeah, it's like that's always the way it was.
Yeah, you're in. Either way.
Looney Tunes 9000. The next time Leftist Mafia does calls, I'll bring Johnny Somali along. Very
Good or
funny.
not.
Tokyo Hans with another super chat. Matt, since you are now living under Sharia law in Mamdanistan, I would like to wish you Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you. Same to you. Nat Mercy with a super chat. I miss when we I don't know what that is. It's a emoji of some sort. I don't know what it is.
When we puff, the only blackmail
I
on
wish when we
DAT.
thought the
Golden
only
shower
blackmail.
tape.
Oh, I see that. I just don't know what the first one is though, but definitely it's golden shower tape for the other one. Yeah.
It's thought.
It's tape. Yep.
Oh,
all right,
thought.
that's it for me.
I was thinking like fart bubble or something.
Oh, thought. I get it.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Okay. Oh my god, I just got tail whipped. Let's see. Okay, don't put your booty hole on the little soundboard here. Let me put you down.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Just don't do it again. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So thank you to Good Nature Heart for becoming a member. Thank you to John Lithium for gifting 10 memberships. That is insane. Thank you so much, John. Really, really appreciate that. You're always gifting memberships. You don't have to do that. Always appreciate you, though. Zeitwise. Will you maybe watch the powerful speech of 13-year-old Naira Taminga during the stream? Well, it's too late for that now. I have not seen this. I'll check it out on my own time, and maybe I'll try to work it into a video if I can find a spot for it. A Day in Forever says Justin Bennett D for SC State Rep 47. Done waiting for Democrats to save us. I'm joining the fight. Nonprofit county-run grocery stores paid for by our billion surplus they are hoarding for the rich. So you're running? You're joining the fight? Okay. Well, that's really cool. If you're actually running for state rep, that's fucking awesome. Good for you. Hell yeah. If I'm interpreting this right. But that sounds like you're doing that. That's cool. Steak says, hey, Mike, have you been playing Neo 3 yet? It's insanely good. It's been hard to put down. For Matt, how are we feeling about our Mets this year? Well, for your first question, I absolutely have been playing Neo 3. I've got like 75 hours in it so far, and it is absolutely incredible. Peak Neo. Best one yet. I fucking love it. Matt, Mets.
It could go either way. I mean, it looks like it could be good for the Mets to look so different this season. I wish they kept Pete Alonso, and I'm fine with them losing everybody else, even Edwin Diaz. But I wish they kept Pete Alonso. But we'll see. I think they definitely it's a very different lineup. So no one really knows how it's going to work out. We'll see.
Octowolf says someone commented on my public transit push in my city that it is socialism. No. ABS says, you hear the Trump administration are going to require people to need a passport to vote. They stopped public libraries from processing new passports. I know that the House passed the SAVE Act, which is the legislation that will basically disenfranchise millions of Americans. This is going to require you, in order to register to vote, you have to have like either a passport or I think a birth certificate. But a lot of married women and married gay people who took on the names of their spouse are going to not be able to register to vote, presumably because of that. So yeah, the good news is that it doesn't necessarily yet look like it looks like hang on, I'm trying to say that. It doesn't look like it's going to get through the Senate, but we don't know. More senators are signing on because they're receiving pressure from the right-wing base. So we'll see. That would be a devastating, unconstitutional piece of legislation if it does get through. V-Man says, to all lefty baseball fans, the World Baseball Classic is in March. And everyone's least favorite nation, beginning with the letter I, is playing. Please give them the proper response they deserve. I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure. Cartoon says, thoughts on folks sharing a clip of Hassan saying he doesn't care of what black people thinks, as well as having beef with Brian Tyler Cohen on Twitter. I don't know what the clip in question is. I have no idea what the context is. I would imagine that Hassan does indeed care what black people says, so I'm assuming it's out of context. In terms of him having beef with Brian Tyler Cohen on Twitter, I don't know too much about that. I'm behind on my Vanguard footage, but I know that, like, Hassan called out a chorus creator and Brian Tyler Cohen responded, hey, why don't you do something? I'm on team Hassan, of course, but I got to look more into it. But I could probably say that I'm going to agree with Hassan more than Brian Tyler Cohen. Thank you for becoming a member, Yori Gibson. Cartoon says maybe Rick Scott is the alien after all, but worse. I think you're right. And Rory Gibson, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. Let me write that down so I don't forget to thank you, Rory Gibson. And let's see. And when I say thank you, I mean I'm going to put you in the outro as well because I'm thanking you here. But V-Man says, fun fact, at the 2023 WBC, Team Puerto Rico beat Israel so badly it triggered the mercy rule. Let's make sure history repeats itself this March. Well, I'll be rooting for you all. V-Man says, Mike, I want to correct you on Tallarico. He has said to tear down ICE, and he wants to halt offensive weapons to Israel. Not perfect, but better than you said. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I do like that he talks about billionaires and how they're trying to use trans people to distract you. I think that is the correct message. The problem is that I don't trust him. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who say they're progressive, and there's going to be some red flags, and I'm going to take them seriously. And James Tallarico is somebody with too many red flags. The Adelson money is kind of like 3 strikes, you're out for me. But, you know, I see what you're saying. He probably wouldn't be the worst Senate Democrat, but he's not a progressive by any means at all. So if you support genocide and you're not willing to call it a genocide in any way, shape, or form, or you take money from the people funding the genocide, then I can never look past that. Cartoon says, any plans on having Alyssa Mercant on the show? Not necessarily. I'm trying to that name sounds very familiar. I believe she's the video game journalist. I think. I don't remember in particular. I remember thinking positively of her, but not necessarily any plans. But maybe if I'm working on a video piece, I'll reach out to her. Or if there's something relevant, we'll bring her on the show. But we don't really have a connection with her, though, so it'd be tough. But I'll keep it in mind. Bay Photo says Trump just announced he will be releasing government files on aliens. Gee, I wonder why all of a sudden. Yeah, totally not a distraction from the Epstein files. Terabyte says, also knowing how many of these people have impacted our childhoods from school photos, stores, and malls, they had ties to how we looked and more. Yeah, that's a great point. Going back to Epstein, right? One of the people in the files is the owner or affiliated with a company that took school photos. They're just ubiquitous in society, these Epstein motherfuckers. It's crazy. Don't quote me on that, though, because I don't have the specific details, obviously, but like somebody who was associated with taking school photos, like a company throughout the country is associated with Epstein. Like, just Google that and get the full story. Canadian Goose says, hi, gang, just coming from David Doel's stream of the NDP Debate, Canada's left-wing party. Hope you all are doing well, and rest in power, Jesse Jackson. Yeah, rest in power to Jesse Jackson. He was truly an incredible person. We were lucky to have him as a movement leader in this country. Also, Cartoon says, respect Jesse Jackson. Absolutely. Rest in power to him. He was a king. Ahead of his time on so many issues, too. Tom Interval, no message, but appreciate the $10. Let me see if I can find, might be a super sticker here. No, just no message. Well, thank you. Thank you, Tom. Old Man in Philly says, you and the crew inspire me weekly. Well, thank you so much, Old Man in Philly. Any suggestions for lessons learned you can give to an old man considering dipping his toes in the vlog universe, thinking 5 to 10 minute old man rambling or nonsense clips? My advice would be to just straight up jump in and do it.
Yeah, just do it.
I think a lot of people overthink it. You don't have to overthink it. I think that you are knowledgeable and charismatic enough that you could just start and see where it goes. It's a grind. You got to make a lot of videos to really get an audience, but you just got to do it. You got to jump in head first. Not really. Rachel Atwood says, does BB have aggressive cancer or not? I saw that, but it looks like just like a random Twitter account said it. I don't think that there's any articles that are validating this to my knowledge. So I think it's probably just Twitter bullshit. Tom Interval says, CNBC TV 18 YouTube poll, should authorities in U.S. make arrests similar to the UK action against Prince Andrew in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein case? Results so far, 99% yes, 1% no, 168K votes. That's crazy. I'm assuming it's just the straw poll, but still, that is fucking crazy. Biggest political win ever. Like, if a Democrat comes in and says, I'm going to hold these Epstein elites accountable, they are going to fucking breeze through whatever primary they're running in. Democrat, Republican, well, probably Democrat, because I think by then the Republican Party will be so, like, pro-pedophile that they'll find that offensive. Zandy P says, hey Mike, as a trans woman, I really appreciated your video yesterday. Well, hey, thank you for saying that. I'm glad you appreciated that. Also, Lance, have you seen Nirvana the band, the show, the movie? Yes. Looney Tunes.
Sorry, hold on. I had my mic muted. It's awesome. Go watch it. Go watch it in theaters. You know how everyone complains that there's no original movies anymore and there's no comedies in theaters anymore? Here's an original movie and a comedy. Go watch it. It's super, super funny. You'll have a very fun time.
Okay. I have never heard of this.
It would be too long to explain. I'll just say it's well worth your time. Go in blind. You'll have even more fun.
Okay. Looney Tunes says, there once was sassy side of Mike called Sassy Mike. He was also sassy. He gave no Fs. The only time he gave an F is when he takes calls on LM. Vicious Bikes, thank you for the $1. No message. Let me see if I can find a sticker or anything. No sticker, no message, just a buck. Thank you. Susan says, Mike, are you taking applications for a chat mod? Some folks need a banhammer or at least a timeout. Sorry for narking. Email me, Susan, mike@humanistreport.com if you're interested. Hawk222 says, thanks for the passionate and continued support for your brothers and sisters in the trans community. Mike, absolutely. You don't have to thank me for just not being a piece of shit, because I feel like that should be the default position, but I appreciate the recognition. Always. Nat Mercy says, I just remembered a while back, I sent a list of bands to Matt instead of Mike, who was actually asking for them. Whoopsie, I think you'd like Sense Fail. I don't even remember Sense Fail.
Census fail.
Census Fail. I don't remember. Was I like asking for recommendations for band? Because I usually don't like rock music or punk. I usually just listen exclusively to like rap and R&B and stuff like that. So I'll try to remember to check out Census Failed though. Nat Mercy also says, fun fact, brass are illegal to carry in 3/5 of the United States. Okay, brass knuckles. I didn't know they weren't illegal. Or they weren't legal, I should say. Like I felt like that was, we already could have done that, so that's good. T-Type says,
this one's for me. Member
sorry.
for 31 months super chat. Wasn't Zoran's candidacy and the massive 50,000 person ground game his campaign had the result of years of internal work at the New York City DSA? Yeah, that was definitely a major part of it, for sure. But that's because DSA has been doing groundwork for a very long time. I don't think, but just in case this is in reply to like what we said about Leftist Mafia having candidates, we don't have anywhere near the ability to rally 50,000 people for a ground game in a campaign. Because that's their specific thing. Like, maybe if they needed to have a weekly streaming show with a panel that gets over 1,000-something views every week, that would be where we are extra strong. But 50,000 people on the ground, that's not our specialty. but that's definitely
Yeah.
what Zoran did. And also Zoran ran was a sitting state senator. He had already done the work in Astoria. There were already people willing to get to work for him directly, even if the DSA didn't get involved, which of course they did. But in some scenario where they didn't, people were still ready to work with Zoran because they've already worked with Zoran doing this very same thing, campaigning.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I used to bring on candidates all the time, circa 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and like my platform is big, obviously, but it's not enough to really move the needle. I've had some candidates like Donna Imam and others say that like coming on the show really helped them win their primaries and get them across the finish line, but it wasn't because, they had their breakout moment on the show. They had already really made inroads in their communities. And the candidates who I brought on who hadn't done that yet, they got absolutely nowhere. Got like 2%, 5%. So it really matters what you do in your community. The online stuff, honestly, you could avoid that altogether. I mean, sure, use it as an extra. But like you need to be door knocking. You need to be having people make phone calls and text banking in your community, because odds of somebody within your community seeing one of these like niche streams, I mean, that's what it is. It's pretty niche. Is going to be really low. So it's not the way to win elections, and that's what I want people to understand.
Like unless you're running for president or U.S. senator,
right?
The odds of someone who's watching the show being from your district, it's certainly possible if you're in a district that has a big city or something, but the odds of someone watching the show and being your district, you could be, there's a reality where you're not talking to a single person in your district. That's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm open to candidates who really have a chance, but we have to be very, very selective because there's so many candidates, and I don't want to ask our audience to donate to candidates who don't have a chance when that money could be spent on a candidate that's more viable, who's really made inroads in their community. And it's hard to do all the vetting for that because there's a lot of people running. So that's kind of like, that's the struggle right now and why we're hesitant to bring people on. That's why I haven't really talked to anybody on my show. I've just reassessed the strategy, and it's not a good strategy. It just doesn't work. And if anything, it's counterproductive when I bring on like 100, like I think I brought on like 100 candidates in the 2020 cycle, and to see like 99% of them not even win their primary, that's really demoralizing. So am I doing more harm than good? That was a question I had to ask myself at some point, right? Because it's tough.
It's very easy to get your name on the ballot. It's a different thing to actually run a viable campaign, like Mike was saying.
1,000%. And that's really important. Stop.
This next one's for me too, so I'll just read it. Kowalski with a super chat. It was 76 out 2 days ago, and now it is snowing. This weather has been odd. Anyway, I'll be in New York City next week. I reached out on X. Let me know. Oh, all right. I'm sorry, Kowalski. I must have missed it. I'll take a look and reach out.
Stop.
Are you guys out of super chats?
We've got a couple more. I have a couple more here I'll read. I think you have others too, Matt, but this one.
Oh wait, did I miss this one too? I'm sorry. I did miss this one. Okay. You do this one and then I'll get mine next. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. ABS says, "Hey Mike, the entire story for Resident Evil 9 leaked. People got some physical copies early. It's Metal Gear Solid levels of BS." Yeah, I saw that. I'm not going to play it right away. I'm not really worried about spoilers because if I see spoilers by the time I play the game, I'll probably forget. But yeah, hopefully people don't spoil the story. That's not cool. Kowalski sends a buffalo. Is that a buffalo? Yeah, it looks like it's a buffalo emoji. Very cool. And my last one is from Freakadelic, who says, "What would be some stuff that a Tim Pool spoofer would say for comedic effect? It'd not be unlike when Lance spoofed Crowder." Well, you definitely talk about Civil War, and you bring up Sushi with the Boys, some popular memes. Yeah, I think that's essential. I'd start there. All right, you've got the last two from Nat Mercy, Matt.
Oh boy, my computer just froze. 1 second. How did this happen? What's going on here?
Oh, well, you're doing that. I'll say thank you for the last second. Pickle Surprise 69 with the request, good night, sweet dreams.
Okay, just unfroze. Perfect timing. Nat Mercy with a super chat. Darren said he's a radical centrist when Kirk got shot. Who's Darren?
I don't know.
And Nat Mercy says people in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas go to city council meetings. Dart. All right. Yeah. Definitely. Take part in your local community, your local politics. Yeah.
Well, that's it.
All right.
Oh, it's a bison. It's a bison. Thank you, Kowalski.
Sorry.
Who are we rating?
Carolyn. She's.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Caroline Kwan.
Yeah, let's do it.
CWAN.
I'm pressing start rate right now.
Same.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep, thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next
Bye,
week.
everyone.
You all have a wonderful
Thanks,
week.
mods. Thanks to the
Thank
mods.
you, mods.
Mods are awesome.
Good night,
All right,
folks.
I'm pressing it now.
All righty.